And that was a new intro.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Thinking Out Loud. I'm Soup.
I'm Les.
And I'm Vic. What's up?
We got a couple new additions.
Yeah. We're trying to upgrade. So hopefully you guys like it. Anyways.
Yeah, hopefully it all worked out on the other end.
Yeah, well, exactly. We were talking about an intro. They're like, "What are you guys talking about?" It was just black screen and then you guys.
It's just us breathing.
So we switched the middle seat here.
Yeah.
We figured that it feels like I'm interviewing you guys every time I'm in the middle there. So we're gonna continuously rotate it. That way we all get to feel like we're asking the questions.
Yeah, and it's also nice to, give the guy in the middle a break because he's always got to watch the computers and stuff. So
there you go.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So what were you guys up to this week? What happened? Anything exciting?
Let me tell you about car sales. The running joke is that we keep talking about the same car. Everybody, okay, we get it. You guys sell cars. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting time.
It is an interesting time. It's very busy in the spring. How about you?
It's
just joking, man. Let's not talk about car sales at the beginning again.
No, I don't know. What happened this week? We did end up. Remember, I was telling you guys about the shopping thing. We ended up going to buy a couch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We bought a nice couch, and my wife's really excited about it. So we get that Wednesday, and Soup's gonna buy the other couch.
What kind of couch is it that you guys got?
We have these couches that are like designer style, so it's like leather,
like rich Corinthian leather, and
from the Napa Valley.
From Napa Valley, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, we custom ordered them in. No, it's we use
from skin from albino rhinoceroses.
No, it's you know the Kobe steak.
Yeah.
They take the cow leather from the Kobe cows.
Yeah, from the Kobe cow.
And then they make the Les's couch with them.
That'd be a pretty sweet couch, though.
I know it would be, right?
Probably nice, probably expensive, but yeah, no, we don't have Corinthian or albino rhino couches. Yeah. We just have these leather couches that they were pretty expensive couches, and I guess the age we were when we bought them was like we weren't really thinking of comfort or thinking of anything else other than just the look of it. Yeah. And they just for the last 4 years we've been like laying on this couch, like watching movies. It's like laying on a piece of plywood.
Yeah, it's like super stiff and hard, right? Yeah. It's all contemporary.
Yeah,
it's all looks and no comfort, right?
Yeah. If it was super stiff and hard, Soup would be sitting on it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, probably.
But Les bought it though. It's at his house.
That's what he kept saying. You have to go with the wife to try it out.
Yeah. That's. But anyway, so yeah, we ended up buying these couches. It's basically a full U, and they're like deep cushions. It's totally opposite of what we normally have. Like deep cushions. So it's really soft, and we're kind of looking forward to it. Be nice.
What do you mean a U? It's like a.
Well, it's like
Is
like
it a square U or like a round U?
No, like a square.
Oh,
style,
okay. Yeah.
Like it's just a square.
Yeah.
Right? So like it's lots of room to sit, and it'll be comfortable. But it's funny because back to the sales thing, my wife and I are both in sales, so when you go shopping for things that are like sales related, it's pretty funny when you hear other people's like pitches and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what's going on. So like we're just like we say lay downs, like a lay down. We don't argue with anything. We're just like we're in and out. It was the first couch we looked at. Took 10 minutes to process the couch, and we're like in and out. We're done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't do the
Well,
look around.
you guys laid on it, and like we're like, yeah, and you like the look, and you're just like,
yeah,
we'll take it.
Yeah. We don't do the whole, got to think about it, got to sit here because we don't like wasting people's time either. Right? We'll make money off that. So, yeah. So, anyways, we did that, and so that was my week.
Next episode is gonna be, hey, who wants to buy a couch?
Yeah, no.
we should have shopped around a little bit more, looked for something more comfortable. This couch is
selling that same
not
couch.
comfortable. Yeah.
No, but if anyone is looking for a couch, I'm selling the old ones. They're a little damaged.
It's a nice couch. Is there damage?
It's because we have cats. So
okay.
But they're nice. They're really nice. But yeah. But but that was my week. That's all. That's the only exciting thing that happened.
Those couches are not gonna work for me. I have kids. We spend a lot of time on the couch.
So you're like a normal family.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but so that was really it. And other than that, I guess played some golf, virtual golf. Virtual golf's pretty good, but other than that stuff, I didn't do too much.
You said you went to a new place that has virtual golf?
Yeah, there's a new place that if anyone is golfers, it's at Rossmere Golf Center, or golf course, I guess you'd say. And they have, it's like a new it's the newest technology for virtual golf. So it's the same thing that professionals use.
Yeah.
And it's called TrackMan. And the software you get with it is amazing. Like it's like you're standing on a course. Like it's like completely 3D.
Yeah.
You're standing on a course and it reads everything exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's not off at all.
So it's like a curved screen or something that you stand in, or
No, it's a big screen. It's probably
That's the one where it reads where the ball hits on the map.
right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It reads on the map, but that's the old kind of technology. The new technology is they have this box thing that sits behind you, and what it does is basically picks up the ball and your club and your swing, and basically will do all the, I guess, equations to know exactly where the ball
like the
will go.
sensors and everything. Like
Yeah,
it has sensors
it's
like
radar. It's like a radar
oh,
sensor.
okay.
So it's like
I didn't know what kind of club you're using.
Yeah, no.
Or you just use a regular like a base like a something that you use all the time. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
it's the same. You just bring your own clubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just bring your own clubs.
Oh, okay. And you
yeah.
can switch your clubs.
Yeah,
and
it
then
reads
it'll
everything.
know what kind of club
Yeah.
you're using.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it'll calculate like
Yeah, everything.
how you hit it and stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's pretty high end. Like it's pretty crazy. So it's pretty exact. So we basically we do tournaments every week, like between the guys for like $1 a hole kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a pretty good time. If anyone's a golfer, I definitely recommend it. It's the best one in the city. It's not like the other ones. The other ones are like kind of a waste of time.
What does it cost to play? Or,
I
like,
think
is it
it's-
18 holes?
Yeah,
Or-
full 18 holes.
yeah.
I think it's like roughly $40 for 18 holes. $35
Oh,
for
and how
18
long
holes.
is it? How long does it take you to get through?
Same as regular golf. It's like 3 hours.
3 hours, really?
Yeah, 3-4 hours entertainment. They have like the
Oh, it would take you longer in real golf, no? Because you
Because you have
gotta
to walk around.
yeah.
Dude, look at
Walk.
that's
Whoa.
no. Listen, that's for the peasants. They walk.
This guy
These
is
guys are
alive.
fucking. These guys are racing each other in the fucking
In the
go-karts that they have
go-karts,
there.
Yeah. Well, we definitely take carts. I say every year I'm gonna walk a little more, to get some exercise. But like when you get there, you're worked all week, and you're like, last thing I want to do is walk around a golf course. You know what I mean?
Fuck this walking like a peasant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna work out, I think golf would probably be one of the last sports
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you would choose to
Yeah.
go like work
Well,
out. Right?
that was a running joke when Tiger Woods was still around. Well, he's still, but I mean,
still around.
relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it's not a sport when Asians and white guys can actually compete against a black guy.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I know. So, but actually, golf, it's good for mobility. You're not gonna get like jacked or like you're not gonna get tons of exercise. That's why a lot of older guys play golf.
You're
'Cause
you're
it's a
kind
lot
of
of
just
movement.
walking.
But it's good for movement for
Yeah.
like older people, not for young people, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of older people golf. But anyway, so that's it's a pretty realistic way to golf through the winter because we don't have we can't golf.
Do you get to select like what courses you play and stuff? Like they have like world courses in there.
Yeah, like you can play like where all the PGA tournaments are. And
Where
stuff.
did you guys play last one?
I don't remember what it was called, to be honest. I don't remember.
Turtle Beach.
It was somewhere where they
Turtle
played.
Beach.
I don't know. I don't know actually. It was somewhere where they just played a professional tournament like last week or something. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
What was your score?
I shot 79 or no 80. Yeah, 79, 80.
79,
Yeah, 80. I don't remember. I think there was one hole I kind of like really screwed up. But yeah, I think it was 79 or 80. But it's in the virtual golf simulator. There's not really putting. So like once you get on the green, it just does like kind of like an equation thing to guess where like how you're shooting through the game, how your putt should be.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're like 6 feet from the hole, and it'll give you like a 3 putt.
Oh, okay.
So like 3 putt's not very good. You should like it takes 3 tries to get in the hole.
Yeah.
It's not from 6 feet, right?
6 feet, you could do that in one shot if
Should
you're
be,
really
yeah.
tired.
1 or 2, anyways. But yeah,
So then it's not very accurate then.
it's not
So
accurate
shitty.
for golf for putting.
For putting, yeah.
For
yeah.
putting.
You want to do me a favor? Just open up OBS there.
Yeah.
So I can just check that.
But yeah, so
Sorry,
that's
I'm still. Does it look grainy there, guys, or no?
Oh, what?
great.
Does it, on that one?
Looks good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little
It's,
bit.
it's the internet connection then.
It's a little bit. It's not
Yeah,
bad though.
Okay. I'm just. It looks a little choppy on my end, so I just want to double check. Sorry, guys. We just
Changed
check-
a couple things
just
today.
checking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
First time we had the intro. We have a logo now.
Also, too, I think the Twitch. If anyone's on Twitch, it's kind of choppy. I think because it keeps cutting in and out. It's probably because we got like 3 computers going on here now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're hooked onto the internet on your phone.
I turned
guys,
mine
yeah.
off.
How's
Me too.
YouTube looking?
YouTube is still up. It just
Yeah.
looks grainy. Like it.
It might be your computer. Can you guys tell us if it looks grainy? Anybody? We're trying to improve our quality here.
Yeah,
Anybody? How
Same
many
with Twitch.
viewers
Thanks,
do we
Twitch.
have on YouTuber?
2.
2. Okay.
we have 3 on Twitch. So, but people on Twitch, thanks for joining in. Yeah, like if you could tell us if it's choppy or not, because we can't tell on our end for some reason. But yeah,
Yeah.
so week was another normal week.
The usual.
The couch shopping.
Yeah, no, same. Nothing too exciting. This weather's really changing the game here, so it's good.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to
Is there anything you know?
finally. The only thing with this weather is just everything's so dirty, man.
Oh yeah.
It's splash. My front yard looks like shit. Literally, my dogs.
yeah.
I'm scared to let my dog out because like I know at some point I'm gonna have to clean his feet every single time he comes back in because he's gonna be treading shit into my house.
Yeah.
Because everything's wet and soggy. You can't just clean it, you know.
Yeah, this is the worst time of years right now. Everything's brown.
Yeah. Especially if you have dogs. Like if you have big dogs too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if anyone's tuning in from other than Winnipeg, but if they aren't, like Winnipeg, like not, it's very rare that people go to the Winnipeg outside of Winnipeg and pick up dog shit. Like it's hard to do that.
In the
it's
summer,
so cold.
in the thing in the wintertime is that you get that fresh snow and then out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah, it's
They're
clean.
Like, yeah, fucking whatever. No, it's fine.
It's clean. Let's do it.
I used to have 2 Great Danes.
Yeah.
The backyard looked like
man.
I owned a baby elephant in the fucking
yeah.
springtime. Like it was fucking bad, man.
Yeah.
There's no grass in the backyard.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about spring. But what do you like? What's the thing to do? What do you guys do for the summertime? Like, is there like things you look forward to for summer, like for good weather?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the usual common stuff: camping,
Camping.
beach, doing outdoor stuff, right? Because you're like trapped in the house all winter long, and then you want to get the kids out and like get off the electronics and like let's do some shit.
That's one of the things that I kind of look forward to this year is that spending a little bit more time at the lake, doing some fishing, just stuff like that, man. I feel like I've wasted a couple of summers, right? So involved in other stuff, and I feel like I've taken a step back from a lot. So I'm like, this year I'm definitely gonna spend way more time outside.
I don't know. That sounds like a new year, new me kind of shit.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna start working out.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
I'm gonna work on my diet.
No.
I agree with you 100%. Like I'm always like fishing is one thing, I enjoy fishing, but it's like it takes effort to go do sometimes. And you gotta wake up early and stuff. But when you do it, it's like you feel good about it's something fun,
Unlike you though, I want to go fishing for fish, dude, not dick.
Oh, you got
sorry.
And gay.
I had to throw that in there. Sorry, man. Sorry.
So,
I felt like we were having a moment.
Fishing with the fam.
the family. Yeah.
Not catfishing, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And then, yeah, exactly. Like, same thing, man. I just want to go fishing. I want to do, just spend some time away from stuff, I had pretty busy schedule, and at the same time, when I was at the upholstery shop, I'm managing that shop, right?
Yeah. So
you take home a lot. That's less you can contest, man.
Mm-hmm.
You have your Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what keeps you sane.
Yeah.
For me, it was the weekends, and then started getting busy on the weekends and stuff like that. Hanging out with this motherfucker till 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Playing video games.
This guy, man.
Yeah, right.
Playing video games.
I know you guys. But that's the thing, too, is, like, after you really appreciate and you take in the summers, like, in Manitoba, and you, like, get these hobbies and you really use them. Like, I found, like, last year was the first year I really, like, my wife and I really took advantage of the good weather.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a lot of stuff outside. We did tons of things outside. You only get that 3-month period. And then it starts getting cold. And we really took advantage of it. But this winter, it was way worse this winter now. Like, being inside and, like, you have all the good things you can do in the summer. And you're, like, really thinking about it. So that for some reason, this past winter really beat me up. Like, it was
impressive.
Especially when you have a shitty couch that you can't relax on it.
Well, the couch
expensive, uncomfortable couch. Yeah. No, but it's something that I always want to plan. Like for me, the summertime I try to do as minimal as possible, and I mean what I mean by that is, for me, taking my kids to the beach, and just watching them swim, and sitting by the shore and just like having beers, and that's my. Getting out there and doing that, or even just barbecuing, having, at the park or at the cabin, or, those things are fun. The kids love that. And they don't, half the time they rather be doing that than sitting at home, on, the iPad or whatever, right?
Yeah, kids just get stir crazy in the winter.
Yeah,
I don't have kids, but I can imagine that
they
it's
do, man. They do inside. And the thing is, the worst thing about it is that it's sunny out. So it looks like it's it'd be so much fun to go outside. -40, your fucking face hurts after 3 seconds. You're walking to the car, you're like, fuck this shit, fuck this shit, fuck this shit the whole way. Yeah, man. No, they get very stir crazy, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I am like not a winter person at all. You know, some people in the wintertime, you can, you know, like go ice skating. You know, kids love doing that. Go toboggan. Kids love doing that. But I don't want to be outside. I'm sorry, kids. We got to do something that Dad wants to do.
We got to do something where we can be warm because fuck this cold shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard too. Like even the skating. If it was like let's say an Ottawa winter, you know what I mean, where it's like, you know, 10 minus 10, 15. That's tolerable to go outside skating and stuff. We're like minus 30, 40.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to be outside. Like that's a lot.
But I mean, there's days where you could go, like, you know, a lot of people go to the Forks, right, and skate on the river, and it looks nice. When I see pictures and stuff, I'm like, that looks fun.
Good for them.
Not that I'm ever gonna do that, but I mean, you know,
not that you're ever gonna go skating at the Forks.
No,
it's definitely fucking cold. I'll tell you that. I've done it.
You could just dress for it,
but
right?
maybe
wear proper clothing. Like by this point, you know, you should have like mitts, not gloves. You should have like, the real
carrying a battery pack in
like
your pocket.
indigenous mitts and
carrying a battery pack in your pocket. Everything's plugged into this battery pack. Just fucking heated everything.
They have those now.
Snowsuits. Yeah. Right. Have a snowsuit.
You should be ready.
Long johns.
But sometimes it's just not. You just can't get ready enough. You know, it's just too cold, man. But I guess that's just my excuse why I don't go skating.
I just don't like outdoor cold stuff. That's my.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with the argument between what's better, being too cold or being too hot.
Too hot all the way.
You think so? No, it's worse, man. No, because you can always dress warmer, or you could be.
Yeah, but if you're too hot, you can just drink more.
No, man. But if
jump in the lake, jump in the water.
But if you're too hot, like you can only get to a certain point of clothing you can take off before it's still going to be too hot, right?
Yeah.
But you can definitely dress warmer.
Yeah, like
But I mean, are we talking are we talking polar opposites?
Yeah,
here? Like,
yeah.
If it's too hot or too cold,
like are we talking plus 40?
We're talking Siberia cold.
I'm talking like
versus
Winnipeg.
Versus Australia.
Right here in Winnipeg,
we have the two extremes.
Yeah,
right?
minus 40 both ways. Yeah. What would you? Which would you rather?
I would rather the hot, man.
No, I don't know.
The hot, man.
Remember, no AC, eh? No AC. You gotta bear it just as.
I don't even have AC in my house, so.
You don't?
No. Oh, I live in an old ass house, so.
Dude,
actually, no, I'm lying. I have a window unit.
Okay, well that's something. Well, because I was like, no,
it's okay though. It doesn't like.
Hey, man.
Upstairs in the bedroom doesn't do shit.
Oh man.
Everybody has a north end center
window shaker.
What's it called? Central air.
What's that? What do you mean?
The north end central air is just a unit in the.
The shaker.
Window shaker. Yeah, exactly. You try to get it to the middle of the house so it just spreads out evenly.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like that's the thing you're asking about. Like the too hot. Like I cannot sleep in like super hot
exactly
temperatures. I just can't. It's too I can't get comfortable.
No, that's exactly it, right? So you can always. I think same thing with me is I choose cold. I'd rather be too cold because you can always dress warmer, fucking burn some shit. You know, there's something you can do to maintain warmth. Yeah. But when you're too hot, you're just fucking uncomfortable as fuck.
But I guess the other extreme is if you didn't have heat. Like
you could if you started a fire.
Fire, yeah.
Like,
well, we're not fucking doing that.
What are you gonna dude? When it's so hot, you plug in the fan and just blowing hot air in your fucking face.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Well, I'm from the fucking jungle, so it's in my blood. I'd rather be hot than cold. Like there's like a little bit cold. Like sleeping, it's better to be cold, that's because I slept in my parents' basement. Right, they had a room in the basement, so it was like. They would have air conditioning on, plus it's extra cold. I love that. I grew used to that, right? You just getting warm and sleeping is the best, right?
Yeah. Well, it's actually if you drop your body temperature by 4 degrees, it actually helps you fall asleep quicker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because your body just goes into shock.
Like, 4 degrees isn't a lot.
I think you said 40.
No.
I was like, no. You're dead.
Dude, you're going into a freezer?
You're dead.
What are you sleeping in?
4 degrees is even a lot. That's a huge change.
Yeah, 4 degrees, I think. If you cool your body, then it'll actually...
That's why you flip the pillow, man, the other side of the pillow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you did both sides, you're done.
No, I don't... I can't do both sides of the pillow, man. When I fall asleep, I'm like fucking comatose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like Lassie just bites the pillow.
Wow.
It's a little slobbery.
Wow.
Gotta flip that pillow.
It's a little wet.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So here's the thing. So another thing I gotta ask you guys that you guys have both been married for a while. What is considered like hanging out to your wife? Like, for example, like there's a whole.
If you're at home.
Yeah. So basically, I live with my wife. Obviously, I've been married for 3 years now, and I've been with her for
I'm
6.
so ready to answer this question.
Yeah. Well, just save it.
Hurry up, man. Hurry up.
Yeah. So what happens is we always go when we do dates and stuff like that. There's the odd time we'll go together, and a lot of times, majority of the time now, we're always meeting up with friends.
Okay.
So we'll go like, a month or 2 of doing this and that, but every week there's always the topic of we never hang out. Like we never hang out.
There's the two of you. Who brings that up?
She does.
Okay.
So we never hang up or
hang out.
We never hang out ever. We're never hanging out. And I'm like, well, I live with you. I'm with you every day. Yeah. And we watch movies and TV and we watch Big Brother or whatever it is. And we're never hanging out. And I'm like, well, we're hanging out.
So when you guys watch, are you beside each other? Are you like, like sitting with each other and watching?
Like
or
we sit in the same room. Like sometimes we'll sit. Well, we have the shitty couches, so we can't sit on the same couch. But yeah, she's on the other couch, I'm on the same couch, and we'll have dinner together, and we'll.
No, but I mean, like, are you guys, when you're watching, are you, like, for example, when my wife and I are watching a movie or a show together, right, she'll be, like, leaning on me or whatever, and then we'll have, like, a blanket and watching the show. That would be my considered hanging out. But there's times where we'll be sitting on the same couch, but she'll be watching a show on her own, like a show that she watches, and I'll just be on my phone. I wouldn't consider that hanging out because you're like in a separate, you're not like focused on, both of you are not focused on one, even though you're together. A lot of times, like my art studio is right beside the living room, right? Yeah. So I'll be on the computer and she'll be watching TV, even though we're like 5 feet away from each other. I wouldn't consider that hanging out, right?
Okay. You ready?
Well, I want to hear everyone's input.
Okay. Here's my input on this. The problem is that guys and women, they see hanging out differently, right?
Okay.
And this is the kind of what I've noticed. So I can go to Soup's house, and we won't say shit to each other. We'll sit there and we'll just watch YouTube videos or whatever, not even talking. Is that considered a hangout?
I do. I can.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Like a great hangout.
Exactly, right? She's like, okay, bro, I'm out. You know what I mean? Now, if there was 2 girls, or you and your wife, or you and a girl in general, and you try to do that, what do you think the response would be?
We're not hanging out.
Exactly.
Well, it's a thing because they want the attention. They want interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
What they want,
I actually have a theory about this. Me and my brother talked about it way back in the day.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. So I feel like this is a evolutionary trait that we've built up over the years.
Like men?
Yeah, men. Yeah, no, men and women in general.
Okay.
What happens is for men, at one point we were hunter gatherers, right? Okay. So hunting required groups of men to be completely silent
and be together,
for whiles, right? So now what happens is that we still have that, so we're able to just sit here, not say anything, and we still consider being with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Now, while the men were out hunting, where were the women?
Well, you probably back at wherever camp
or cave.
Yeah.
All together, raising children.
Yeah.
In a group, so they were always talking.
Yeah, very social. Like
yeah, exactly.
Always outgoing.
Yeah. So that's why I feel that it's different to hang out with a male or a female.
Makes sense. That's definitely valid. Makes sense, right?
I mean,
it's also like it's different too because you don't live together. You know what I mean? It's like your wife. You live with your wife.
You're not around all the time.
Yeah, so it's not. That's the thing. I feel like when you're at my house, we're hanging out because you're not there all the time.
But I don't know though. Like I feel like even when like if we hang out or if we've been together for X amount of time, because it was at one point, dude, I was coming over to your house every day.
Yeah.
Right. We still consider that hanging out. Like, we still saw each other constantly.
Because you didn't live with me, though.
But I feel like it doesn't matter if you live with somebody or not. I feel like it's just. I feel like it's more of a gender thing.
Like for example, if we live together, right? Me and you were roommates, right?
Are you trying to tell me something?
And it would it be considered? Would it be no? But like if we live together, right? And we're just in the same room, it's no longer hanging out because we're living. You know what I mean? We're living at home. It's kind of right. You know what I mean? But if we didn't live together, and you came over, I'm like obligated to. It's not like I can be, you're at my house, I'm going to go, all right, Vic, I'm going to bed. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? But here's the thing, though. I have been in that position where you know, I was hanging out with a buddy, and
you guys went to bed together.
No, dude, fuck. No, listen. When you hang out with your friends, I don't know what the fuck happens, bro, man. But like,
hey, that chair.
You guys are...
It's that chair.
Hey, dude, man.
You guys are my only friends, so I don't know you get that.
Hey, Les, you want the front or the back this week? No, chair. But... No, I've been like in those scenarios where guys with buddies that have been like, listen, man, I'm about to crash. I'm going to go sleep. Just lock the door when you're on your way out.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're not. Like the Soup's point is that like when you live with your wife, you're every day.
Every day, always there, kind of thing. Yeah. But maybe that's a
Well, I think hanging out has to do a lot to do with the amount of interaction or the amount of like focus. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, if the wife and I are gonna watch a movie, we're like focused on the movie, the both of us, you know what I mean, as opposed to like we could be in the same spot and watching, you know, the TV, but she's watching her show and I'm just sitting there doing my thing, right? That's not hanging out. Because
here's another point though. Okay, when you're hanging out with your wife and she falls asleep on the couch, is that still hanging out?
No, that's like the contract has been broken. So I'm gonna go do whatever my thing, right? Like,
so here's the thing.
But that's the other question too. Is like when she falls asleep. Well, sorry, Nicole. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I am.
Does she sleep with her mouth open or closed?
Always closed.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, when she falls asleep or she goes on her phone, so that the day after, I'm not like, well, you're not spending it. You're not hanging out with me.
That was the point. That was the second point I was gonna make.
Like you don't hang out with me ever.
Yeah.
She falls asleep.
Can you use that? Can you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can you use that as ammunition when you're like, listen, you didn't hang out with me. You fell asleep last time.
100%.
You were out. Yeah. So
that's even like
hey, that was my excuse a few times with hanging out with Soup. Sometimes I was like, hey, you're gonna fall asleep anyway, so I'm just gonna go out.
You're on your phone, Soup.
No, but we like that's one thing that the wife and we establish prior. She'll be like, do you want to hang out? And I'm like, yeah, if you want to, but you look pretty tired. You look like you're gonna fall asleep. Like I'm not gonna start like watching a movie and you fall asleep halfway through when the effort is me sitting here to watch the movie with you.
So now you're saying hanging out with your wife is an effort? You heard that?
Sometimes it is. I mean, not you know, like sometimes you stop what you're doing to hang out with your wife.
Yeah, you when you intentionally make an effort.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you
mean. Sometimes like I don't feel like watching a movie, but she wants to watch a movie or she wants to hang out. Okay, well we'll watch a movie, right? But we gotta watch the whole movie. If we're watching the movie. And then I turn and she's crashed. Like, go to bed already. Why am I, you know, like
sitting there watching?
Yeah, I could do what I don't mind if you go to bed. You don't have to stay up.
I don't really want to watch The Notebook.
Like, I love that movie, man.
I know, made me cry. But when is it also considered that you like are hanging out then, like in a girl's head? Is that the only time? Is when you just like not talking about home, I'm talking about there's many other times you do stuff, right?
If you go out and do stuff, then it has to be like a date. Yeah, you have to go for dinner, just the two of you. That's it. That's hanging out. But if you go with your friends, they're not hanging out.
But there's the other double standard though. So did you hang out with Nicole when you went out to buy this couch? Was that considered a hangout?
That's what I mean. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that.
But it's not in any female's mind. That's not hanging out. Count? It's not gonna count. No, it's not gonna count.
Well, Nicole, you won this one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry. I feel like. It counts as it doesn't count as I think quality time is what they seek is quality time, not just time, right?
Quality time.
Yeah. So
QT.
A
little QT.
Yeah. So instead of going couch shopping doesn't count.
That is Red Ronin 204 says that is running an errand.
That's running an errand. It's not hanging out. It's running an errand.
Oh,
right. Like if you go, for example, you go grocery shopping. That's not hanging out.
No, I agree.
You're like,
I see.
No,
what you mean.
I agree there. Yeah, it's running an errand. But the thing is, though, is that what then we have to define what hanging out meant.
Yeah,
because we could go couch shopping. I can take you out for dinner. Does that count as hanging out?
I think at some point it does, right? Like if you go like shopping. If you go shopping, you're not like a shopping person, but you go with them to go, and then you have dinner together, right? After shopping, then it becomes hanging out.
That's what I would do.
Less.
Red Roland says, sorry, Red 22 says QT is the focus on her. So just focusing on her. Yeah.
Less. See how I bailed you out of this one?
Yeah, I know you gave me the window.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The window.
You're welcome.
But no, that's exactly my point. Is there's a lot of times where I do like the smelling the candles thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't like candles. Like I hate smelling them. But like it gets to a point where I'm just like I can't smell these candles anymore. I just gotta tell her the truth. You know, like I don't like smelling candles. I'll do it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
But like before all that, like doing things that she wanted to do. Look, you know, look at this, do this, go here. Let's, you know, do this together.
See, that's my personal opinion. That's hanging out because you're making an effort to do what she wants to do, right? And it's nothing that is like it's not like shopping for you guys need a couch. You know, it's not an errand because now you're just going along with what she wants to do, right? Like
but in her mind,
smelling candles and stuff.
Yeah,
right? Like
which that's in my mind. That's how I think about it.
Well, you're right. I think you're right about that, right?
But in her mind, I bet it's like, well, no, we need this. Kind of like what Red Roman 204 said.
Yeah,
it's like
candles. You need fucking candles?
No, I don't need candles.
How many candles do you need?
Well, fuck. If you ask her, lots of candles. What's up? You okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just trying to get a little bit more comfortable now that I have more room to move the microphone.
Yeah. Well, you'll need your room.
Whoa.
Or we got another one here. 204 says, or having conversation together. Yeah, but we have conversation. Like we're with each other every day, all day, and we talk all day, and it becomes. It's like this is the difference. Okay, this is my point. The difference is if we were 2 months in a relationship, and you're trying to, you know, talk about stuff, and you don't know anything about each other, and the conversations become super more like they're way more exciting when you're 2 months, 6 months, a year into a relationship. Yeah. After and I always emphasize that. It's a beautiful thing to know everything about your other half. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's something you earn. And a lot of the things I shouldn't have to pretend anymore to, you know, like wine and dine. It's nice to do. We do that. But I don't want to I don't have to go like crazy out of my way. I'm not dating you anymore. You're my wife and I know you, you know me. And, you know what I mean? Like, so we have these conversations. So it makes it hard to go, how was your date? I've talked to you 6 times today throughout the day. Yeah. Like, I know that you had this thing. I know you had that thing. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes a little harder to have that conversation.
Well, you know what the secret with that is this, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And the secret with that is when you're talking with like, and we're talking about my wife and I, we've been together 20 years.
Holy shit, really?
20 years, yeah.
Holy fuck.
The wife and I have been together 20 years, 21 years, 21 years, 20 years. I don't know. Anyways, we've been together for a long motherfucking time, and we still have good conversations because we don't talk about. You don't talk about work. You don't talk about, you know, because it gets stale. You know, like you don't want to talk about work. You mostly just talk about like.
They talk about what kind of men they
both
like.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. The type of guys.
Yeah. 20 years.
Whichever kind of guys they like. That's what they give me.
You're gay right away.
20, yeah.
20 bucks is 20 bucks.
20 bucks, yeah. No, 20 years, wow.
But you have like, you don't sit together and just like talk shit, just like, you know, like how we talk, right? Yeah. But just with your wife. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get her opinion on certain things. Like my wife lives in a bubble, right? She doesn't understand world events and things that are, your wife is the same way, you know? Yeah, they're like working the kids. That's their whole life. They don't know what's happening in politics or they don't know what, you know.
Doesn't care too. Like it's not her.
Yeah, they don't want to, yeah. Yeah, they're not as woke as us, but you know, but that's because they got a lot on their plate, right? But a lot of times that's when I like, you know, I'll tell her about, you know, like we talk about Jesse Smollett. She never heard that because she doesn't, you know, go on the internet and see that shit. So we talk about that, or we talk about, you know.
Well, that's good. Yeah. So that's a good tip to have. So, like,
don't talk about work. Don't talk about. Try not to talk. If you want to have a good conversation as a married couple, you have moments where you don't talk about work and you don't talk about bills and you don't talk about, you know, serious stuff. You just have like, you know, just like topics of you know, just not anything serious, right?
Cypher?
Fuck.
769. Chug the beers.
Okay.
Chug the beer.
Go. How much you got there?
I don't know. I can't.
I'm gonna chug this. Ready?
Oh, ready?
Ready?
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. I literally had like a half a sip.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Done
deals. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing that it's not like a serious thing, but it's like I always want to hear like another opinion of other people, like what they think of that. Yeah. I was talking to another guy at work. Shout out to Josh if he's on YouTube or not, but we're talking about that, and I'm like, it's just bizarre because, like you said, it's like almost like it's built into us, like genetically, that this like hanging out is just, I could sit with like buddy and just not say one thing. Like my wife came out, she's like, I want to see what you and your guys do, like you and your buddies, what you guys do. Like when you go out,
she'd walk in some hand jobs or what?
She was really awkward about that. No, she was. We took her to like some little shady little bar, like we usually hang out, and like we just sit there and have some beers, watch a game. We didn't say one word to each other, and she's like, "You guys are boring." I'm like, "This is what we do. This is what guys do." When they
yeah, exactly.
Oh man, there's been a few times, right, where we'll be here hanging out at the shop, right, and it would be me, this guy, maybe a couple other dudes, you know, and we'll just
hear that? He said him and some other dudes,
and me and this guy and a couple other our homies, and all we'll do here is we'll blaze, and then we might karaoke, right? And the wife has hung out a few times, like a couple, 2-3 times, and then after that, I'm like, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm going, "Oh, I'm gonna go hang out at at the shop with the guys," and then I'm like, "Do you want to come?" She's like, "No, it's fucking boring." Exactly. She'd be like, "This is you guys just sit there and like I don't want to sit there all night." And you guys,
good luck on the VLTs.
Good luck on the VLTs.
Win some of that less money back.
Yeah, I got spanked on.
By a guy?
No. This guy's just super into men today. It's okay though. It's okay. No, on what day was that? Friday night? Saturday night. Yeah. But yeah, no. That's the thing. Is like,
what's the thing? When she after I'm like, "Do you want to come?" She's like, "No, you guys are boring." Like, what did you think we do when we come? You think there's like we're like we're like raving or something? Like we literally sit here, drink, maybe smoke a couple, you know, and then karaoke. That's it. If you're not into that, then. You know,
we're just men are just like easily like satisfied with like simple things, like couple songs, couple beers.
Yeah, exactly. And then just
that's it. That's all.
That's pretty much it.
That's it. But so it is what it is. And we're also different. Like we're different. Like girls are. They're not like men. Like I can't. Like today, my sister went with my wife shopping and stuff like that. My sister's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you have someone to shop with." I'm like, that's awesome. I'm glad Nicole has someone to shop with too. Like
you can take that bullet from me 90% of the time.
Yeah.
No, I have an opinion on this, but I don't want to bring it up until next week.
No, you have to bring it up now.
No, because Nicole will be here, so she'll be able to defend
about it.
Yeah.
Why she's gonna be here? Why?
Not Nicole. Nicole, the
shout out. Yeah. So if you guys, we had a little bit of an issue at the shop, so we couldn't have Nicole on that week that we wanted to. But she's agreed to come on next week, so she'll be with us next week.
And do you want to explain what it is and stuff? Or
yeah. Chowdown is a challenge channel on YouTube. So her and her friend do these food challenges all the time. Spicy food, a whole bunch of stuff. And if you follow her on Instagram, she also does like live ones where they did that Taco Bell like 20 taco challenge.
That's crazy,
right? So she did a sushi challenge. She does a whole bunch of this stuff. So she'll be on.
She's got a YouTube channel too, right?
Yeah. And she's the reason why I reached out to her originally is when we started talking about the gender stuff. Remember?
Yeah.
In one of the first episodes, and I was like, you know what? That was kind of unfair to do it without a female here, right?
That's a good point.
To argue her point.
That's a good point.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she wants to come on. And she said, yeah, let me know when you guys are ready. And I feel like we're ready now. So right.
I'm pretty excited. I think we're gonna have pretty soon. We're gonna start having quite a few guests, and they're all really diverse. Yeah. You know, so we wanna make sure that you guys watching realize that we're open to all
everything.
All debate, all So we have a lot of different guests, a lot of different opinions and stuff. So.
It'll be good. And then we're also gonna have another guy that's a well-known hip hop guy for Winnipeg, and he's gonna come on the week or two after. I think we decided, right? Yeah. So, but it'll be good. We finally got an intro now too.
Yeah, got an intro. Look at us looking all professional.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
No more audio problems.
No, not
that we know of. Not that we know of.
So but. So that answered my question. So I'm gonna have to go and spend some more QT with my wife.
Well, don't you at home like when don't you like at least my wife and I at least one day a week will watch at least one movie.
We do. Yeah. We watch shows together, but it's more like
if you're not like right beside each other like focused.
Maybe it'll change.
You can't be on couch. None of you can be on the phone. Neither of you can be on the phone.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's a good idea.
The thing. You gotta, because that's like you're not spending time. If I'm on the phone or she's on the phone.
That's a good idea. We should do the phone thing. The phone thing, and you know what I mean, like basically, we put our phones away, or something like that when we do that, because we always get caught on the phones, right?
Yeah.
So.
Really, you guys can't do that. You can't put your phone.
We just never did.
Oh yeah.
Think you'll out. Good luck. Cypher769 is now hosting you, so we're getting hosted by someone now too.
Sweet,
awesome.
So I appreciate that, whoever that is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If it's nice of you to do that. Have fun on the VLTs.
Who's playing VLTs?
I don't know. Cypher769.
Oh. VLTs.
BLTs.
BLTs.
Way better. You win every time.
BLTs.
BLTs. You win every time.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So.
That's an interesting thing about the phones too, right? Like just in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you like been 90% to work, forgotten your phone at home, and been like, "Fuck this! I gotta turn around."
Oh yeah.
I'm at fucking this guy. He lives a block and a half away from the shop.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. That's a valid point.
I was at one point when I was going to Ron's, I was all the way in Transcona. I literally was like turning off of Panet Road onto Regent. And been like, fuck this, I'm turning around and go get my phone. I'd be late for work instead of fucking leaving
being on time.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy thing. You know what I mean? It's the phones definitely are glued to everybody, right? And that's the funny thing too is like, everyone that has a phone, you know what I mean, usually has it on them. So like when you text somebody,
he had to grab his phone when you said phone.
Yeah,
yeah. Look at that. Listen, you could have said Apple, phone, or pink, and I would have picked up that phone.
Totally did that. But like everyone has it, so when someone like doesn't respond or like you don't answer, you know, like literally, and I'm the worst.
Yeah,
I'm the worst.
You know the motherfuckers be
he saw it.
Staring at there, watching it. Not gonna want to name any names, but Victor.
I'm bad for it too.
You know what? One of the things is as of lately, I've become really bad because I tend to not do that anymore.
You just leave it somewhere.
I just leave it somewhere, and I'm just like, fuck it, and then I'll pick it up and I'll be like, 8 missed calls and 24 messages. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's pretty bad.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta like make it comes to the point where nowadays you need to make an effort to like not look at your phone or put it away, especially if you're hanging out. Like for me and the wife, when we're hanging out, you know, I'll stick the phone like
up his ass.
I don't even look.
and then he prays that somebody calls so the vibration goes off.
Please call. He sends out a message. Everyone phone me now.
Yeah. But anyway, you try to like.
I lost all my contacts. Can you guys text me?
There's no signal.
It's too deep in the bat cave.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like half the time, you don't need to be like checking your Instagram or checking your Facebook. You're hanging out, right? This guy's super bad for that. You're hanging with this guy. So many times I'm like, hey man, who the fuck are you texting? You're like, why are you on your phone right now? All the time, you know? And then he's like, me and the wife were talking. It's like, dude, you live with her, man. Like, whatever she's mad at you about, you can deal with it when you get home.
Nowadays, like I said, it's a little bit different. So
that's the thing with me is like I don't really do the social media and stuff like that. Like it got too crazy. Like in our relationship wise for Nicole and me, like, you know, people post pictures and it gets taken out of context or whatever. And also the other thing too is I don't want to be a slave to my phone. Like everything, checking this, doing this, everything.
But you don't have to be. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like
hard though.
There comes a point where it's like if you're hanging, like for example, if you're hanging out, there's no need to be on your Instagram. There's no need to go on Facebook. That shit will be there till the end of time. Yeah. So right, yeah, you know. So
one of the you know Ari Shafir, the comedian.
No.
Yeah. He's one of the Joe Rogan crew and stuff like that.
Okay.
The Amazing Racist. You talking about?
Yeah. He got rid of his smartphone and got a flip phone.
Yeah.
Because he says he has an addictive personality, so he didn't want to be on the phone. Because apparently he was going on, I guess, Tinder and just smashing everything. So he figured that he was gonna just go to a flip phone. Everybody makes fun of him for having like this old school flip phone thing. So
can you even do that? Can you even hook up a flip phone nowadays?
You can still buy them.
Yeah. I thought they didn't. You couldn't get the
like they don't have the processing power for like
the network
5G.
Yeah, no, they've continued. They continue to make them, but nobody fucking buys them.
Really? Yeah. Because my dad, he had a flip phone as of like up until like 4 years ago, and actually like I don't remember what company he was with, but they phoned him and said like, yeah, you won't be able to use this anymore because our networks won't support that one. But I'm sure there's other flip phones that probably
the newer ones that they made just for this stuff. So,
but yeah, like so you have to upgrade an iPhone. He hates it. It's funny because like it's so much more convenient.
That's one of the funny things is, remember when phones were getting smaller and smaller, and then we realized we could see porn on them, and they got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You can watch movies on them.
Well, that's the thing. It's different. It's different now because back in the day, it was like you had a phone, right? That you could like play snakes and ladders or whatever on, right? But now this is no longer. You can't even call this a phone anymore. It's a computer that you can make phone calls.
Yeah, mobile.
You know what I mean, you use it more for being on the internet than you do for like who makes phone calls nowadays. Like who actually like very rarely am I on the phone actually talking, unless it's like my mom. She'll call then
somebody.
Yeah. But other than that, it's always texting.
My mailbox. If you try to leave me a voicemail, my mailbox has been full for like the last 2 years, man. Like if you're leaving if you're still leaving a voicemail, like motherfucker, text message me to say
point.
Right? Like why are you leaving voicemails?
Voicemail.
The fuck is that shit?
Well, that's the thing. I watched this video. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like this guy was saying that when you're on your phone, when you're with somebody, what you're displaying is that person's not as important to you than your phone. You know what I mean? Like
which
they're like if you're hanging out with somebody and you're always on your phone or you're always constantly getting phone, that person is taking
gets offended by it.
No, it's not that they're offended by it, but it's you're like what's the word when you're like subconsciously showing them that they're not important to you, right? Because you're like this, right? And then like at dinner or whatever, and my wife said that to me too. She was like, when we go out for dinner, you're always on your phone, because half the time I'm like checking messages or trying to answer stuff, right? Like even it's like a normal day where we go out to eat, and I take note of that. And now when we're eating dinner and once we sit at the table, I don't take out my phone anymore. I don't even look at it. Even if you throw it on the table and put it upside down like this, you're still like, I'm here with you, but if something comes up, if the light goes on or it vibrates, I gotta hold the personal interaction so I can check what's happening, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So when you're on your phone and you're supposed to be spending time, you're showing the person that they're not as important as.
I've had that feeling too when I'm hanging out with somebody.
Yeah.
And they're always on their phone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, they're always on their phone.
Yeah.
I always get in shit. You guys both give me shit for that. Sorry, guys.
But and then you just feel like you're like, why?
Well, because why were you
sitting
there? Yeah, you're sitting there staring at the motherfucker on his phone.
That's a good point too, though.
Yeah.
Like, so if guys are hanging out, together, we don't need to talk. But if one of the guys is on their phone, you still know their attention isn't.
They're not there, right? Then it's not hanging out.
I feel triggered by this conversation.
Yeah.
No, you guys are right. And that's one of my biggest things is always being on my phone.
Yeah.
Right. Always being on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a hard.
That's why this guy doesn't answer you for fucking 2 days. Is like,
he's never on his phone.
He's on his phone. This guy's always on his phone. That the motherfucker's seen that shit.
Listen, Linda.
I think that's a pretty common thing nowadays, though.
So the thing what happens is I put my phone away sometimes, or sometimes I'll be sleeping, and then I'll see the text message when I'm like half awake, and then I completely forget about it, and then I look at it and I'm like, oh shit, this was like a day ago.
Late.
It was a day ago. It's moved on since then. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. That's one of my things too, man. Is that I gotta stop spending so much time on my phone.
Yeah, I gotta break free from that. It's just like half the time it's like unimportant things.
I found a little peace of mind when I broke my phone because I spent like a day and a half, 2 days without a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A reset.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I kind of don't miss this thing, man. So.
Meanwhile, he's like posting on his computer. I don't miss my phone. I don't need. I don't need electronics.
I don't.
I'm not a slave to the internet.
No, I would only I only logged in every once in a while too, like on my Facebook on the Messenger, just to see messages because
that's the only way of communication.
Yeah, it was the only way. Yeah, exactly.
He's logging on every 2 minutes.
Something like that.
Refresh.
F5. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Do you think that in the future that like voice calls will be obsolete? Think that they'll take that out as an option? Because they're saying like who really uses that? Like in the new generation coming up, I don't think that voice calls are a big thing, right?
Fuck, now that you brought it up, Elon Musk, he's got a company. What they're doing is they want to do a neural net
in your brain,
into your, like, literally attached to your brain,
like a chip or
something.
Yeah,
so that you no longer need a phone, you don't need a computer. Everything you can process everything in your brain.
As you think it searches the internet for you.
Yeah, that was his argument. He said, actually, to be honest, the communication with your fingers and like typing, so that's a super slow way to communicate.
Yeah.
That's such
he has a company that they're working on that neural connection, man.
That'll be wild.
That'll be wild. Would you do it if you had the chance?
You know what I mean? Like,
if you could, like, that would. You know how much of that, like, how evolved more, like, you literally have a computer in your brain.
But is that evolution? Because you're not remembering anything. You're just connected.
But that's the thing. You don't need to remember anything.
It's a waste of time,
right?
It's
a waste of time. No, you're right. But at the same time, though, it's one of those things where, is that detrimental to our evolution?
Yeah. I think we're at the point where that's the next level. Like we're already at the point where it's just that's what's happening. You know what I mean? Because
that's a crazy
with the convention of the internet and computers and stuff, the only step left is to merge the two together, so we don't have to have a separate machine in our hand when we could have it in our brain, and we can.
Hey, Hollywood, I have a great idea for a movie.
Yeah. They probably have that movie.
It's no, man. There's Bill and Ted 3 coming out.
Brokeback Mountain.
The Laos edition.
But
no, the idea for the movie is the internet is convincing you that you need to log into it for evolution to happen. And at the end of the day, it's the internet evolving and needing worker bees to fix it.
Well, that's pretty much what is happening.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, more in a malice sense, right? Like now we have it as a tool for a lot of stuff.
But it's basically just creating like some super brain, right?
Yeah.
Like all these Google searches, all this stuff.
We had this conversation one time. Remember? No. We had this conversation because I said, what was I saying? Fuck, I forgot. But I said something about the internet gaining knowledge. Oh, not a living being.
Yeah,
living entity.
That's right. So now it's like becoming, it's getting all data from everywhere in the rest of the world.
Cyberdyne is becoming aware.
Yeah. So if that cyber chip or whatever the heck is coming from Elon Musk, we were talking about that, and like you would have no choice but to get it.
Well, at one point, right? Like same thing with your dad and the phone. At one point, he had to upgrade.
You have to,
right? So I feel like you're right. At one point, people are going to be looking at you going, iPhone motherfuckers don't got the chip in their head.
Yeah. Well, then the other thing, too, is like everyone around you is going to have all these answers.
Yeah.
And everything. And you'll be like, well, I'm still human. Like, I don't have that cyborg.
I feel like that's how, like, Stephen Hawking's felt. Like Einstein. Like, all these motherfuckers are like just wasting their brain doing stupid shit. These guys are figuring out the universe. Just doing these calculations. Like, fucking Stephen Hawking's had whatever the diseases he had. I forgot.
Was it... multiple sclerosis? No, it wasn't.
No. There was
whatever it was. I don't remember either.
There was only ever one man that punched Chuck Norris. Let's just say Stephen Hawking's got what he deserved.
That's funny.
No,
but yeah, that's the same thing. I was thinking about that before as well. Like all these people, like
the hyper intelligent people, like Elon Musk must feel like he's from a different planet, dude.
Yeah, he's like, what are these people thinking? Like this is the stupidest thing. So like that's be stuck, like that'd be torture too. But I guess it's their job to change it, right?
Right. Yeah,
did you hear what that thing that came out in? I think it is in California. They released it, and it's the way to transportation for vehicles underground.
Yeah, it's another Elon Musk project.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the what? Hyper tunnel. That's right. And so a lot of people don't know about this, and I was like, no, the project's already started, so it's already going.
Leave it up to Elon Musk to get California, one of the most seismic fucking, I guess states?
Yeah.
Well, places in the world, to fucking get a permit to be able to dig underground, drill holes underground.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah, he's like, I got it. I got it.
Don't worry, guys, we're good.
Yeah, we're safe. But yeah, they've done this, and it's supposedly already ongoing. Like they've done this, like it's going. The project's already on.
Yeah, the project's already started. Yeah, they're digging the first tunnel, or they dug it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that.
That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, the basic idea of it is that they have these pods that you'll drive your car into, and it shoots your car at like this super fast rate through these tunnels, kind of like those suction things you never at Costco.
Yeah, for the money.
Yeah, it's like that, and just you'll show up somewhere in record amount of time.
So yeah, it basically lowers you down into this tunnel and shoots you all the way to, I think it's going to the airport right now or something. Shoot you to the airport, and then it just raises you up.
Yeah,
you drive off.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. So one of the things that was asked of Elon Musk too is that apparently he has the technology through Tesla to have battery powered automated airplanes.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So his response was, we absolutely have the technology to do that, but the world has got a gas problem with cars, not a plane problem.
What do you mean by that?
So he's putting more money into the Tesla cars as opposed to pursuing these other projects.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because there's so many vehicles, so it's not.
Yeah, he says
that's not beneficial for
the environment and stuff like that. So, guy's fucking genius, man. Guy's a genius. He's like, we don't have an airplane problem. Like, airplanes don't pollute as much as cars do.
And there's not as many of them.
Yeah. So they
That's my dream car, man. I want like
Tesla?
Most people want like a fucking Lamborghini or something. I want a Tesla. I want like their fucking. Those cars are fucking insane fast. Yeah. And like fully loaded technology, like.
Supposedly I heard they're like, I don't know.
They're like dirt quiet too. The engine sound is actually like a recorded sound that they play so that you can hear an engine. There's no actual sound. Like if you were to there's no sound for the electric car. So they actually record an engine sound so that you know that your engine's on and that. Yeah, man.
That's like crazy. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. Like they had a show at I don't remember, some car show, whatever, and we were looking at it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just it's not really. I don't think it's really ready yet. Like it's not. You can't go long enough. You can't drive them long enough. Like
not yet, no. But
they will be
soon enough, man.
Yeah.
Soon enough. Their battery. They're always evolving the battery power, right?
Yeah. Well, we kind of reached a block on that too, right? When lithium ion came out, that's the batteries that they're using now, and they are kind of, until we figure out, I guess, a new thing, that's kind of as far as it'll go.
You think so?
Well, because lithium ion's been around for the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, right? Before that, it was, this is how much I know about batteries. Yeah. Nickel metal hydroxide, and then also the alkaline batteries and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So the evolution actually came very quickly and then kind of stalled as soon as we hit lithium ion.
Yeah. But I mean, they still like a full charge on a Tesla is still like 270 kilometers.
It's 60. It's like 600. Like 600 kilometers. I think.
Yeah, that's long.
That's like a full tank of gas.
Yeah, and that's also like, and it only takes like 2 hours or something to charge, right?
Yeah. Fully charged. The thing is that here in Canada too, we don't have this.
We don't have the stations.
The stations like in the States where they have like those.
Yeah, when I went to the stations, when I went to the States, we passed by quite a few like Tesla charging stations and.
Yeah. So if you think about it, that's like the average. What am I looking for here? The average distance of a tank of gas is about 600 kilometers.
About there,
on a car that's built for economy, not for anything else. But you'd need to set up stations in between that.
Oh yeah, of
because nobody wants to be traveling in the middle of a . When your battery's at
But I mean, like
5%.
if like for me, for example, I wouldn't take my Tesla on like a road trip. You know what I mean? Unless it was like viable. But I think if you're just driving in the city and you're just charging at your home in your garage, right?
Yeah,
that's worth it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly it. That's why it works like in LA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because these guys aren't traveling like crazy kilometers.
Yeah.
Right. They were kind of just staying in their bubble.
Yeah.
But like for me, when I go to, for example, when I go to Sandy Lake.
Yeah.
Right. If I go there, that's a half a tank of gas there, half a tank back. If I don't have
a charging station there, you might not make it back.
I may not make it back. Right.
So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like at this point they're not, they're not made for, they're city cars. They're made for driving in the city.
What they have to figure out, I feel like they need to figure out a way to boost the car's ability to recharge the batteries.
Well, it's not like they have the technology where you can charge by driving. You know.
Yeah.
Having
it inputs back a little bit of charge, but the problem is that that's kind of an infinite motion machine thing, right? Technically, you can never get out the same amount of energy as you put in, right? So it would still be draining itself. But I feel like that's kind of the ticket to get the car to be able to charge itself, even if it can give you 50% more.
Or you know what they should do? Instead of having like a full-blown charging station, just have like a charging, like a tow truck that charges, right? In every city, right? They instead of having like just somebody that they have the electrical charge outlet.
Yeah, we're still up. Yeah, I know. One of the things that's interesting is that in Africa they sell this vehicle, okay, and it's like a 3-cylinder diesel,
okay,
and it's set up as a truck,
okay,
like a flatbed truck,
like a little one, like one of those little 2-seater,
yeah. It's kind of like one of those Suzuki things that we see every once in a while, something like that. But the car is able to transport multiple people because it's flat decked, so they can sit in it.
They sit in there,
yeah. And if you plug it in, it becomes a generator.
Okay.
So you can literally plug things in from your house to the car to get it to power your house.
Yeah.
So because you're not home most of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you drive off.
Yeah.
You use this vehicle.
Yeah.
And then when you get home, you plug it into the house, and it provides power for your family. And
use power for your family. Oh yeah. That's
so
pretty cool.
That's kind of a same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, technology needs to advance as quickly, I guess, as we need it. Right?
Well, it's getting there. It's getting there. Like they just recently did fucking bionic eyes for blind people. They can like implant a bionic eye for you to see. Now they have it now.
That is cool. I also saw they do the hearing thing.
Hearing too, yeah.
Watch the videos on people that first can hear.
And these are people that have been deaf all their life, you know. And even the bionic eye thing was a guy they implanted. It was successful. He's been blind for 40 years.
That'd be crazy.
And now he can see. Yeah, like that's awesome, man. Like
that'd be crazy to be able
technology is getting there really quick. They just invented the thing where contacts that you can zoom.
Oh really?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I wear contacts.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can buy ones that you can zoom in and like fucking. I can't remember how much it is, but it's like a lot, like 1,200 times or something. It literally has a little cornea thing that spins that you can zoom in.
Some James Bond shit.
Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy.
That's the other side too. Like you're talking about the electric cars and getting them to be more efficient and things like that. The problem is too, the world economics don't really they can't evolve that fast. You know what I mean? It'll crush a lot of jobs. It'll ruin a lot of things.
Well,
you have to evolve it in like slowly.
Well, you think about Tesla just came out with like they just came out a few months ago with their economical class, right? You can pick up the new one,
like 50 G's.
50 G's, but that's still I mean
that's the average now.
Yeah, like you go and buy a brand new car for 50 G's, right? Like.
But I mean more so on the other side. Like if, for example, they were really affordable, say they were like $15,000
over time, they will be, yeah.
They will be, but the thing is, like now, if everyone goes and buys electric cars and they're like really efficient, they work and they run the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, then what happens to all the oil companies?
They fucking find something else to do.
But the other aspect is how long have they been like milking it because they're the only source.
Long, really long.
So
they're things that they're the things that fuel
everything.
Like everything, right?
Yeah.
Not no pun intended.
Yeah.
Fuel everything.
Yeah. Fuel everything.
Yeah.
What's the thing like Michio Kaku, the fucking astrophysicist, right? He goes, when everything becomes automated, what happens is it forces everybody, the human race, to evolve to do other things because there's no more menial jobs. There's no more like our parents grew up in the industrial age, right, where they had to work in factories and blah blah blah. And once all that shit gets automated,
fuck, I keep hitting my mic, guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
Once that gets automated, now it forces the human race to do other things, right?
To focus
on like you think about the amount of jobs that were that are no longer like. Can you name a few like jobs that are no longer relevant?
Blacksmith.
No, there's still blacksmiths.
Yeah. Is there though?
They're
called metal workers now.
Metal workers. Well, even like there used to be guys that used to go and light lampposts right every night. Yeah. Like you don't have that anymore.
It's a lot of things we don't really have that you kind of evolve into because it's not necessary anymore. But I think it has to happen at a proper evolution rate. You can't just force it.
Like, well, it's not for it. It's just that's just how it is. Right?
Well, the thing, like, what I feel about this is that given a generation or two, people would just return back to their passion, what they're passionate about,
mm-hmm. Which would be nice,
and be free to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing to do something that you're actually like you love to do every day.
Well, it's something you're passionate about, right? Because then the construct of money has to disappear, right?
Yeah.
Right, or else how like you won't be able to pay your bills. Nobody's got jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I've always said that. I said that before. Back in the day, in the industrial age, or you know, those days, the bill you see like the rich guy, the rich millionaire, billionaire. The idea of that was this guy smoking a cigar, watching smokestacks polluting the air, blah blah blah. Yeah. But now you look in these days. The rich guy, the billionaire, is the tech guy, is the guy, and they're philanthropists.
Those millennials that are scared of everybody, but act like
But you think about, like those guys, the really rich guys now make insane amount of money. It's all online. It's all online,
They make the most money and they have the the least overhead.
Yeah.
They don't have to buy these huge. Well, they buy the factories, but that's already built into their profits and stuff, right? It's not like they're starting off to build this oil refinery and have to dump all this money.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they don't have to go and like murder a jungle village to go have a plastic factory or whatever. They're making money on Bitcoin, or they're making money off of just software, or even web page. Like you look at that guy that owns Twitter, right? He's got like 15 companies that he makes money off of.
Yeah. It's just having that I guess being in the right the right time, having the right starting something at the right time, and having the right idea and following through with it. I guess, right? Yeah. Especially
it's kind of like this podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's also having the
2 viewers.
It doesn't matter, man.
And also
quality over quantity.
Yeah. Having the know-how. How many people on YouTube?
2.
Okay. Well,
Same
we got
2.
4.
Same 2. Yeah, exactly.
We got 2 on Twitch. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate
absolutely. And to the people that watch us on the replay, because we get a lot more views on replay than we do live. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe and follow.
Give us
right. Hit the notifications button so that it tells you when we go live next.
Yeah.
Right. That way we can get a little bit more.
And if you share too, if you share it on your social media platforms too, like people that that might appreciate it.
Yeah, and that way we can also interact a lot better with the people that are watching. Right. You guys are more than welcome to put in input, questions, stuff like that. So
and the more people we have, it gives us more of a platform for everyone to say what they want to say. It gets it out there.
Yeah.
So, but it's the thing. The new age is the tech. Like that's what it is, right?
Oh yeah. There's so much like we talked about, like like at this point, how are we gonna evolve as a human species? Like for example, they came out with this dude. He's got no arms. They made him prosthetic arms, and you can program the prosthetics. Right now, he can play the piano.
Yeah, it links into like his nervous system.
No, he's just programmed into his hands.
So he just puts his hands.
Yeah, puts his hand. Now he can play the piano. he never knew how to play before, but now he has the fucking bionic hands. Now he can play the piano.
Just program.
Yeah, man. You just program it.
Like, is it Mozart that play? Who's Beethoven?
Both of them.
Either
or. Yeah.
So you just say like Beethoven.
Like that guy on that YouTube clip where he accidentally hits the fat button on his robot arm.
What?
No.
He's trying to show off his arm, and he's like doing this thing, and all of a sudden the arm starts doing like this.
Oh yeah.
So when you accidentally hit the fat button on the fucking robot arm.
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. A robot arm that. I mean, it's not you technically.
Yeah, it's like someone else. But
it's a stranger.
That's the thing too, though. Is like the good question is if we say these chips come out. So you put the chip in. Now you're basically cutting off the evolution of humans instantly. Like now you're not really going to evolve.
But no, But my point is, that is our evolution.
But you think that this is it for humans? Like this is a
yeah. It's not like we're gonna get grow another set of arms or
but you don't
have better eyeball, have better seeing, or
But our brain capacity, you think that this is it?
I mean, this is the evolution. Is our brain is no longer in here now. If you look at the internet, it's a collective of all our brains into one, right?
World brain,
right? It's like we talked about earlier. There's gonna come a point where we don't have to talk anymore. We could just look at each other and communicate because we all have Elon Musk's fucking neural network, right? And we just look at each other and we don't even have to talk anymore.
Until you have to sign up your credit app there, and then if you bankrupt or whatever, they just shut you down as a person.
Your knowledge,
they just shut you down.
Lower.
Yeah.
So they only give you so much access to the web. If you only sign up for the $50 a month one, they only get data from Canada.
You only get you only get a Canadian.
This video is not available in your country.
Yeah. And then if you pay the
it's like Netflix.
One,
it's like
you
Netflix.
Get the world data, right? It's like
everybody has to fucking running a VPN in their head so they can log on to the American Netflix.
There's gonna be hacks.
Fuck, man, that's funny.
That is it's gonna happen.
Oh, for sure.
It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
For sure, it's gonna happen.
I don't know. My problem with that though is that considered evolution?
Yeah, I totally think so.
Look at if you look at a dolphin has sonar, right, built into essentially its brain, right?
Yeah, it knows how to whatever. I don't know how it's done, but they have it.
Echolocation. So they send out
a
pulse, and it bounces back.
No, I understand that,
right?
but I don't know how they gained it.
They gained it through evolution.
Okay.
Right? They evolved to need echolocation. So they have this. They have that naturally. It's a better sonar than anything that we can build. It's the most efficient sonar on the planet. So necessity made them evolve that.
Yeah.
So if we no longer have that necessity, it stunts.
We're submitting.
Exactly. It kind of stunts us from now if you, in another 3 billion years, if the planet's still here, I feel like we'll evolve a fucking internet antenna and you'll be able to log in that way.
It'll just start growing them,
Exactly. There's like a little tail in the back of your head. But you know what I mean, though? I feel like you stunt evolution by doing this. I don't think that
we're talking about, for us to evolve into this fucking omnipotent being, it's going to take us millions and millions of years, right? So what we're doing is we're taking a shortcut to that and just going straight into the internet, right? I think at some point, if we get to, there's going to be a point where we just take your brain and just put it in a robot, and then now you're immortal, right?
Well,
because
that's kind of what you are right now. It's just made out of meat instead of metal. So
that's what I mean. But now if you switch it to straight, now you have skin that's bulletproof. You've got bones that are you're not dictated to age isn't a factor,
not
right?
a thing.
Right. The only thing because technically, really, what do you need to keep in your whole body? What is the most important thing? Your brain,
your
right?
Heart. Your heart.
You don't even need heart. People have artificial hearts.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, just the ability to love.
And that's a good. That's another good question. Yeah, that's another good question. Is it going to affect things like that? And that's, I don't know. I think that if you combined the chip and your brain, let's say those two things, now it's making you kind of like a cyborg, I guess, or something along the lines of that. It's computer and human, but does that still is kind of acceptable.
Like a humanoid,
yeah. That's kind of still it makes sense, but when you go to that next step and you start doing robotic bodies and just brains, you're not even really human now. Is it only human really?
Yeah. What makes you human? That's the question, right?
A soul or a conscious, maybe.
So where do we locate that though in the human body?
Yeah, that's I think the hard thing, right?
And that is the I guess the mystery of being, right? Of being you, of being self-aware.
Yeah, that's a
strange
question.
Yeah, it's a strange.
And the thing is too, the soul, not it's one of those things. This is or consciousness. You don't know where we get that from. Yeah, that's the difference, I guess.
Maybe that's all that this is. Maybe we are just meat hardware for a network that already exists, but we're blocking it out with this other shit.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Because we've all been around people and you feel like a vibe and you feel certain things, right? So I feel like maybe that's it. Maybe we're already connected in a neural net kind of thing, we refuse to kind of pay attention to that sometimes, right?
Yeah,
because we believe that maybe it's ego, maybe we believe we have the answers. The answer need to be in front of us. Maybe we need to see them or touch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think lately that's, well, me personally lately, you see that more and more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the same thing that I've talked to you about this personally. Is you know, you kind of need to acquire stuff sometimes, and sometimes it's you believe that maybe that's friendships or the amount of people that you have around you, right? So you kind of tend to ignore certain aspects and certain things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
So that's what I mean. Like it's a tricky thing.
Red Ronan 204 says, "Can't you still die though?" I don't know. Could you?
If you couldn't die though, I'll rebuttal you with a question.
This is a good one, yeah.
If you couldn't die, would you want to? Like, if you could choose to stay alive, or you could choose to pass away, which one would you choose?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know. Honestly, I've thought of this before. It's like, because you don't know the right answer, right? So it's like, the other question is too, like, say you have a family, right? So your husband, wife, and the kids, right? So say your husband passed away and he didn't do the upgrade. It's called the upgrade. Didn't do the upgrade. And then you are now kind of becoming older and stuff like that. And you have an option to do the upgrade or to just die and maybe see your husband in the afterlife or whatever, the you know, in the religious way of the spirit goes to the place, right? Yeah. Do you do it? You know, do you do that? Do you risk not seeing your husband
forever?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Red Ronan 204 says, "Can you still die though? Like if you're doing the cyborg,
well, no, not if you're."
But so I rebutted with this question: if you could choose to live immortally, would you?
I mean, is there no going back if you choose? That's the like. Could you pull the plug whenever you wanted?
I mean, I feel like you could,
right? Because it's like I was saying earlier. If you just put your brain into a robot, your consciousness is there because of the pineal gland, right? The third eye. That's where you're right. Is that not the?
That's a theory.
The mythical thing is right. Yeah. The third eye is.
But maybe that's your evolutionary antenna to this network that we're all connected to. But we choose to ignore.
Knows, right? That's a theory.
Right.
Yeah.
This now we're getting somewhere. But no, that's what I mean. Like maybe because I said maybe we need to evolve an antenna. Maybe that is the antenna, and we're neglecting it, and that's why it's slowly going away. Yeah. Maybe we're already connected in a network.
Well, I mean, we still have this like sense. Like if you think about it, I read this thing the other day. It was like humans have more than 6 senses, right?
Yeah.
You know, sight, sound, you know, smell, hearing. But there's more senses where you can sense when somebody's in a bad mood, or you can sense, you know, if it's awkward between. That's another sense that you have.
Feel that vibe.
So that is sort of like an outer.
But isn't
antenna?
But like I was saying to Les, isn't that part of this like network that we're all connected to, where we exchange energy?
Yeah.
Is that not what the internet is?
Yeah.
Where we're in a way, we exchange energy through.
Well, that's the thing. Like with the internet, we're like, we have this connection, right? But with the advent of the internet, we're able to focus and now we can say exactly what we mean without, you know what I mean? Like,
it gives you that.
You know, like with even like with Twitter and stuff, it's like whatever pops in your brain and you feel like putting it out there for the world to read, you can do that. You know, you can do that now without having to like second guess or be like, oh, they're in a bad mood or they don't want to be here, you know, like little subtle body language things that you pick up subconsciously, right? But now with the internet, you could just be like, fuck, this is boring, I want to go home. You know, or
and that's the thing too, is like you lose more and more of that connection of that 6 or whatever sense, you know, that feeling, the vibe feeling with that.
The more we rely on technology to do thinking for us, the less thinking we'll do.
Yeah.
So emotionally we'll become less and less, in quotations, human, right?
Yeah. That could be a whole.
But that's maybe that.
That's good. Maybe a good thing too.
But what if that's the evolution? Is where we're no longer become human, because the human is a flawed species, right?
But the thing is, though, is that I feel like what makes us human beyond anything else is the ability to have empathy, to empathize.
Love.
Yeah.
Love, exactly. So once we lose that, the ability to empathize, which a computer doesn't, right? It doesn't know, right? It doesn't. It only knows within a construct of what it is. It doesn't know how to feel, how to feel emotions towards somebody else, right? So at the end of the day, I feel like you'll lose what makes you human.
Yeah, but what if my rebuttal to that is what we as humans bring to technology, where we bring the empathy, we bring, now everything is out in the open, you know, like it's like you know, things that happen globally, everybody has a connection to it, where, you know, like for example, Koenig 2020, remember that? Right, right, remember that? The Koenig 2020, right? How many people were like, gotta save the child soldiers, we got, you know, and everybody, that's human empathy brought into, you know,
child soldiers were saved.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, it was like already beyond, like past that point already, like the guy was not even doing that anymore, right?
No, what happened was the guy that funded that whole project and was running it had like a mental breakdown and was caught running down the street butt naked,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, like going back to, if you had a choice, like, you know what I mean, to live forever or to,
but it depends. Like, do you have a choice to pull the plug? No, are we talking like vampires, or are we talking technology?
Well, like,
you know,
technology wise,
you can live as, no, that's the thing, you can live as long as you want to, and then when you feel like, you know, it's like me, like
yourself off.
If you know, I never want to live longer than my children, right? You know, at some point.
But if they could live forever too.
If we could stay forever together, why not? Right?
In the philosophical term for myself, I wouldn't want to live forever.
Yeah,
I feel like dying is an experience, a part of life, right? So,
but it could be the old part. It could be like,
yeah, but
you know, you're evolving out of that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But
I
you know,
like you get tired after a while. Like at the end of the day, like
it depends.
You've seen everything. You've heard everything.
It would be pretty boring.
So you'd be like, "Fuck this,
yeah.
I'm out."
Yeah. But that's it. Like, forever is a long time. But I mean, if you could live, I don't know, another 100 years to see, you know, man colonizing Mars space, or you know, the first warp travel, or that, you know, cool. to be witness to that kind of technology, or to be witness to, you know, evolution of man, where there's no longer a need for money, there's no more world, you know what I mean? It would be great to see that stuff, right? You know.
So what about this? What happens if in our lifetime they get to a point where they can keep you alive indefinitely, but you're 96 years old? What fucking good is it for you now? You're literally gonna, like, it really isn't
a walker
now, motherfuckers. You can't even walk, man. You get fucking like,
no, that's not something I would want though.
Would you take that pill?
No. If I can't take care of if I can't wipe my own ass, I don't want to be, you know, like, you don't want people taking care of you, and like I could be like 50, and if you know.
Yeah. Cypher 769 says he says reincarnation. He says,
I believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do.
Really, eh?
I do.
What makes you believe in reincarnation more than other kind of religion stuff?
Not because, like, my family's Buddhist.
Yeah.
Right. So that's for my family's religion. That's our reincarnationist thing. But I'm not religious at all. So that's not what I'm going for. But why I believe in reincarnation is, I've had some dreams, like, you know, where I've lived a completely different life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
And there's like, it just felt, you know, when I would wake up, I felt like it was so real. And they're like dreams where you would never think about, like, why did you dream? You know what I mean? Have you had dreams where you're like, what the hell? Why did I even dream about that? You know what I mean?
I've had dreams that I woke up and what the hell, but I've never had a dream that I can remember that I was something completely different, or someone completely different. I've never
I've had dreams like,
were you like someone like
I had a dream, I had a dream not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. I even said it to my wife. I was like, I was in some kind of like Braveheart battle.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like killing dudes and stuff like that, and it was like, you know, and then I remember having the feeling where I was fighting to be home with my family again. You know, it was like,
and it felt really
real,
it
felt like super real. Yeah,
that's crazy. I've never had that before, but that's an interesting topic because, you know what I mean. Like, if you look at how the world, or like how the universe, how the world works, you know what I mean, everything kind of gets recycled, right? Like, so, you know, water evaporates, and then it goes up and rains down, and like everything like kind of recycles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting concept, right?
I do believe in reincarnation. I think
that was Einstein's thing. He said that he believed in the afterlife only because energy can't be destroyed, only converted into other form of energy.
Really, hey?
Yeah. What happened to the sound? The sound
cut out here. There you go.
There we go.
You did that.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, that's something I believe. What I believe, like we were talking about evolution earlier, right? There's also, not only is there evolution of mankind, but there's the evolution of your soul, right? So every time you live a life, the next life is another challenge. It's like levels, right? You like your soul only grows through hardship and struggles, right? So the next life, like with somebody that's born, like let's say somebody's born handicapped, no arms, no legs, they live in a wheel. That's their evolution of their soul. So you know what I mean, like. And
that's what it. That's what. Like, is that a Buddhist way of thinking?
It in a sense, yeah. But I think it's just, for me personally, I believe that's how you grow as a person. Is you don't grow from the good shit that happens in your life. You only grow from the bad stuff. You know, you
like life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons. That's where you know, like sometimes my parents would say, you know, my dad would say to me, you know, you don't pay attention unless I'm fucking yelling at you or unless you're getting in shit. That's the only time you pay attention. Yeah. And that's true, right? Like the kids you're like my kids, the only time they're like, sometimes if you just say, hey, can you not do that because you may blah, 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 they'll keep doing it until that happens. And then finally you're like, I fucking told you not to do that. Yeah. And then now they'll never do it again, right? Yeah.
But what teaches you more? The
heartache, the pain.
Somebody telling you not to do it. Like, don't touch that stove. You're going to burn yourself. We all touch the fucking stove. Yeah. That's how you know stoves are hot. Mm-hmm. Right? So at the end of the day, sometimes that's, I guess, you know, part of life, I guess.
No, when I was younger, you're talking about stoves. When I was younger, I had
talking about stoves.
No, listen. When I was younger, I had an overwhelming urge. The element was on, and I had an overwhelming urge to put my hand
to cook the cat
on the element, to see what it felt like, and I did, and it totally like had like 3rd-degree burns in the shape of like a ring of an element. Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's how the lamp catches most of the fucking moths in
the.
Ooh, shiny light.
Yeah, the sunlight's so shiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
yeah, no, it's an interesting concept though.
No, I believe in same thing. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that we all like, sometimes you see somebody and they're an old soul. You can feel that they've been around longer than you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you meet people that are on the same plane. Like, this is why we all get along, like, you know, the way we do.
That's what, we talked about this earlier, where it's like, when I feel like we've known each other in past lives, because when you connect with somebody.
That must have hurt.
Right? It did. It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But when you connect with somebody, right? And without effort, you know, then like, it's like
you have already.
We have that camaraderie from past lives where, you know, it didn't take effort to get along. You know, it's a saying, game recognized game. When you're,
and you can feel that when you like meet. Just when I meet someone like right away, you have that like that sense thing. But you can feel that right away, like, oh, I'm gonna get along. I know I can get along with this guy, or this girl, or whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
no, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I've never really thought too much about reincarnation. Like, I've thought more about like, your soul goes on to like a different like dimension or a different like level of like, that's like we're just in a certain phase in our life, and then the next level is something else or another thing, and then you move on. Not necessarily saying it's like heavenly or God.
In a church going sense, would be like going to heaven or whatever.
Yeah, like
the equivalent, whatever it is.
Yeah, not calling it heaven or not calling this, but you just move on to the next form of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you're like more like an energy.
Yeah. Well, that's what. That's exactly it. That's what I feel like. Everybody says
the home energy.
Yeah, like everybody says. You know, if you want to call it God, you want to call it Allah, but what it is he is like a being, right? Like a universal spatial being, right? And he's like the only entity, right? And so for him to experience himself, he has to live through us, and that's why we all live. You know, that's why we feel this connection.
Maybe that's what's living infinite.
Infinite.
It's infinite not, power.
Yeah.
Right, and it's gotten
that
to a point
infinite
where
energy.
It needs us to experience life for that energy, because now we are, in a sense, immortal or eternal. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever die. That's the thing. Like we're, it's like a eternal being, but it's not a religious thing. It's actually science.
Yeah,
That's why I feel about it. It's like an energy. Like you can record the energy. You can like there's machines where
I've had conversations with religious people, and one of the things that irritated me was I had a conversation with a guy, and I told him, what you may call Jesus or God, I call the universe. At the end of the day, it's the tree. We're the fruit of that tree. We're the apples that come off of the the celestial fucking energy. Instead of meeting me halfway and saying, you know what, that's a good way to look at it, I'm literally saying, you call it whatever you want, I'm gonna call it whatever I want.
Yeah.
He says to me, the Bible says anything like if you don't call it God or Jesus, it's blasphemy.
Yeah.
And that ended that conversation real fucking quick.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's funny because like not getting too into the Bible and things like that, but like there's a lot of different views on so many different Bibles and so many different things, right? And they all kind of go the same way. You know what I mean? Like it's all the same kind of thing, right?
Well, how can you? That's the thing. Like, how can you trust a book that's been edited
and rewritten
and things have been omitted and
there's been points in history where there's been a leader that's been like, I don't like everything that's said here, so let's get rid of this and this just so it better fits my needs.
My story, that is kind of the tricky thing. But there are some like facts from like around that era that kind of you can prove.
Oh, cool, of course,
in the Bible. So
there's for example, like what? What can you prove from the Bible?
Well, there's a lot of things. There's
like what?
Like for example, they still have like actual like scriptures like they found that were written from one of the prophecies, whatever that they have. Yeah, that's similar to the Bible now.
Yeah, but what if it's just some dude that they like how can you prove that that's like Jesus wrote that?
But here's the thing. That's a good thing though. Here's the thing. All of Jesus's what are they called? Disciples wrote scripture.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where, like you said, Paul, whatever, and all that stuff, right? Did Jesus not write one?
No, they don't. He never ever wrote. He always like spoke and they wrote it like in his word or whatever, right? Like Jesus said this or whatever, to my knowledge. Right?
As a son of a carpenter, wouldn't you keep notes?
Well, just the people. Like, honestly, I'm not well educated enough. There might be a verse that he did right and that's in there or whatever. I don't know that enough.
The point that I'm trying to get to is you can't use other people's opinions as the voice of a man who was able to write for himself.
No, you can't. But this is the other question. You can't. But there's only two things you can do with it, right? Either it was a real thing and Jesus was alive and he was the Messiah and he came down. Yeah. Or he wasn't and he was just a crazy guy like that just basically rabbled his mouth off and did all this stuff and he was crazy.
He was a hippie before a hippie.
Or it never happened at all.
Yeah.
So to believe that this guy, we have proof that the guy was a guy. He was a real man. Yeah. That was there. There's proof of that. And whether or not, now the only question is whether or not he was crazy or not.
Okay.
Right? So, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing. Like the Jews, they're like, their thing is like Jesus was real. He was a real guy, but he wasn't the son of God. He was just a really nice dude that just did. You know what I mean? And he didn't have any powers or anything. He was just like a really nice guy. They don't believe.
Yeah, in the Quran, Jesus is mentioned as well, but he's mentioned as a prophet, not as the son of. The way they see it is Allah is everything, right? He the top of the top. So there is no interaction between human and Allah. Like you can't have a child from that, right? You can never like birth a son because so he is a prophet like Muhammad and stuff like that, right? So he appeared. I believe that Jesus totally existed. I do.
Right.
Right. Whether he was the son of God, I don't know. I couldn't tell you because
well, no one can really for sure 100% tell you, right?
But that's the thing though. It's like like growing up and stuff, you kind of like try to find your way in terms of like spirituality and religion and stuff. But at the end of it, in my opinion, you need to believe what makes sense. You know what I mean?
Makes
Like,
sense to
does
you
it
as
make
a
sense that
person
this guy's
person,
like,
though?
this guy's the only son of God and he's the only, you know what I mean? Like, why is this guy special? And there's too much like
but
contradictory stuff to it, right?
At the same time, though, are we in a position now to receive this, in quotation, son of God if he was to return?
Wow, I don't know. That's kind of a.
Well, what is the
do you mean-
point? What is
mean,
his point of
so,
returning? What is he going to do?
Well, so here's the thing. So he was sent to Earth for what?
To our sins. We're going to die for our sins and shit.
Right?
Right,
To kind of rectify
Yeah.
a position that we got ourselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Have we not been like a million times worse this day and age than?
Yeah, that's exactly the question, though. So the what Christians believe, this is to my understanding, is that he came to rectify those issues, and then what he did is he sacrificed himself for the sins of man, of people, yeah. Right? So now that that's already been done, it's like he's the only thing that really he says in the Bible is what you do to basically, you know, go to heaven, or to be, you got to follow the rules of the Bible, like be a good person, but you have to repent. So you have to, like, basically, you know, tell your sins and, you know, live a good life. Yeah, say you're sorry. Yeah. And then basically ask for, you know, forgiveness from God or Jesus, whichever you want to do. So that's it. So he's already done this for the sin. So what we've done since that day, if he's done this, sacrificed his life for you. Yeah. That's the story. That's the way.
But that's the thing. Like, it's like, it reminds me of that joke. It's like, you know, I prayed to God for I prayed to God and asked him for a bike.
But that's not
not how it works. So what I did was I stole a bike and then I asked for forgiveness. Yeah. Right?
See, that's
like,
always the question, right? Yeah. That's always the question. Is like we started going to church probably about a year ago, whatever, and, you know, just learning about different things and stuff like that. And I asked this question to, you know, someone that was really knowledgeable, and I said, if he's already died for our sins, like, what do we have?
Shouldn't it be a free for all?
Yeah, like why are we, like, if you gotta just ask for forgiveness, like what's the difference now? Like, are you not, like, going to heaven if you now
that's the conundrum. That's the conundrum. Like, so you could do whatever. So then basically I could do whatever the fuck I want, and then right before I die, I could just be like, I'm sorry, forgive me. You know, come into my heart, and then I'm all forgiven, right?
I don't know how that works out. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But if there's a thing, right? I don't know.
Who knows?
It's just a cool, interesting topic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, there's churches that base themselves on that stuff too. Like, if Jesus has died for our sins, then our sins no longer exist.
They shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. That's the argument. Yeah, exactly. They've been cleansed by, you know, by the Savior, right?
Right.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I was raised Roman Catholic, so that's where my background comes in. But I've looked into a whole bunch of religions, and yeah, man, glad I'm not religious anymore. To everybody that uses religion or needs religion, then by all means, man, I'm not telling you that you're wrong. You're absolutely right.
No, that's
absolutely your choice to make, right?
And that's the thing, is religion is, whether or not you believe it or you don't believe it, the one thing it does bring like family.
Yeah.
No, me fucking.
It does bring like a community together, and you're all on the same page, and whatever makes you feel good in that community, and if that brings you together and makes you feel good and be a better person,
nobody should ever judge you for that.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like,
absolutely, man.
For a while there, I was like, I really, really was against religion. I really, really was like anti-religion. I couldn't fucking stand it. and then as I thought about it further, I'm not against religion. I'm against extremism.
Yes.
Is what I'm against. I'm against those that are like, my religion is everything. If you don't believe it, you should fucking die. You know, that's where, you know.
Yeah. One of the things that I like about Islam, man, is that there's a passage in the Quran that states pretty much, your religion is your religion, mine is mine. Right? Yeah. So you can follow the guidelines, or you can't, or you don't. It doesn't change my perspective of my religion. Right? What do you mean by that exactly? So some Muslims eat pork, some don't.
Okay.
Some drink, some don't. If you follow the Quran, then you shouldn't be drinking, smoking, anything that can cause damage to yourself.
Okay.
Right? You're created in the image of God, so you must respect that.
Okay, interesting.
Right? Kind of deal. So that pretty much states is that if you want to, as a Muslim, if you want to eat pork, I can't look down upon you for doing that. because you choose to follow your religion. I'm following mine.
Interesting.
Right? So if more religions thought that way, though, right, wouldn't this be fucking amazing?
Yeah, if everybody was, if everybody did their own thing and didn't worry about the other guy.
I'm open to the idea of religion if it's bettering a group of humans or humanity.
Yeah.
Right? But when it starts to become an issue, then I'm starting to have a problem with it, right? Yeah. Because I should be able to believe whatever I want. You should be able to believe whatever you want. So with you, right? Yeah. Maybe our opinions match at one point. Maybe they don't. Like I said, what you call God at church is the same thing I call the universe.
Right. Exactly.
Right. No, and if we agree on that, then we don't ever have to argue about religion because you understand where I'm coming from and I understand where you're coming from.
Well, that's the thing. That's what my parents. My parents' Buddhism, right, is they believe that we all worship the same God, but we all worship them in different ways. You know, that's why when I was younger, when we immigrated to Canada, they made me go to a church. They made me go to a Mennonite church because
the priest was giving out free candy.
Because they wanted me to integrate into Canadian society, right? You know,
potato chips,
and it wasn't like a thing where. You know, it's not going against their religion. Yeah, they believe that everybody worships the same God. Yeah, we just do it in a different way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I just feel a God.
But he went to a Roman Catholic church, so he.
No, never an altar boy like
traumatized.
I was never an altar boy like you, though, buddy.
Only you.
I'm Buddhist. I don't know.
Hey, bro.
I'm Buddhist and never went to.
Does holy water work as a lubricant? Is that why they call it holy water?
Always turning gay all the time, eh? Every subject's gonna be gay all the time, eh?
That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing.
My issue with organized religion is the amount of bloodshed. That's caused. It's still crazy. Causing, right? Like
till this day, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the only issue I have, man. It's just
that's what I was saying earlier. I hate extremism.
When you believe that you're you have all the answers.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I find entertaining is people that are very religious. If they're going through a hard time, they say God's testing me.
And I just had this conversation with my wife today.
Yeah. Then
see, you have these conversations with your wife. That's what earlier when I was talking about. When you talk about
we weren't hanging out
when you're talking about with your wife, right?
Yeah. But so fuck, I lost my train of thought.
You're saying if the religious people say
so if they're going through a rough time, then God is testing me, and if they're going through a great time, they go, thanks God, thank you God.
Yeah, and that's exactly the question. Right?
So one of the Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Maybe explain who he is for people that don't know.
He's an astrophysicist. Very brilliant man who's very active on social media. Yeah. If you guys, he's always on YouTube. Man.
Everyone probably knows.
Yeah, he pops up on fucking TV shows as he does a cameo. Like, what the fuck you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
But he says that in context, God is all loving and all powerful.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So if something bad happens, and God is all powerful, He could have stopped it.
Right.
And if He's all loving, then He could have also interjected. So there's one or two things that doesn't fit in. He's either not all powerful or not all loving. He can't be both.
Yeah, and then the other, like Christians or other people would say that He's doing it because He loves you.
Because He's testing you.
Yeah.
But see, that's exactly with the front of the conversation again, right?
This is my whole thing today, and there was we went to church this morning, and there's one of the I guess they call it a sermon, whatever, was on, and the one thing that came up was that she went through a rough year with health and all this stuff, and she was saying that like God was doing this to her because she to get her down to a level so she could understand, and like making her be sick and stuff like that. And I was like, that it just didn't make sense. Like
almost like a punishment.
Kind of like not a punishment. Like in her eyes, it was more like lessons to be learned.
Oh, okay.
Slow down. Yeah. Don't rush through life so much. And it was like if you have like someone that's a god, like the super being, the most powerful thing in the world is God, or the whatever
in the universe. Yeah.
Universe.
Yeah.
Why the hell is this guy gonna be punishing people? Like if he's that kind of God, why is he gonna be like, well, you're only gonna see this if you get sick for a year? I just don't understand that way of thinking. That if it's a God,
did your dad never whip your ass to teach you a lesson?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
right? Sometimes
but we're only human, right? This is
right,
God,
of course. But you were, we learn better from strife than from abundance.
We just talked about that, yeah.
Right?
Yelling at a kid or something.
Yeah,
you
learn more from, like, if you're hungry, you're gonna learn real quick how to catch shit and eat it. Like if there's no if society breaks down and you're on your own in the woods, you're gonna learn real quick how to hunt.
Yeah, you have no choice, right?
Right, you have no choice. But if we sit here, you're gonna just continuously do the same cycle, right? So at the end of the day, you kind of need to go through some turmoil, and makes you appreciate life a little bit more sometimes, you know.
So you're saying that's pretty. It's if there is such God or whatever, it's a possibility that he could go that route with it.
Absolutely, yeah. It maybe in that suffrage there is love, because at the end of the day, the lesson is learned.
Yeah. It's
right?
good. That's a good way to look at it. I never thought of it that way. I was like, it doesn't make sense to me that someone that is so loving and caring and all the stuff that would torture. Yeah. Would torture you. And there's also another thing that I was watching it on a podcast, or whatever, and it was like this cult-like religion in the States. I think I don't remember where they're at, but I think it's California somewhere possibly. And they basically would go to all these like events, like soldiers after like a soldier's funeral.
The Baptist church, though. What's it called?
Westboro.
Yeah, Westboro. Yeah.
And one of the things she was saying is like one thing that why she doesn't believe anymore is like one of the verses in the Bible says that, you know, there's two people that were twins in the Bible, and one turned out to be good and one was evil, and it was predetermined by God that one had to be evil. And she's like, well, that totally goes against everything that is preached, that everyone gets a fair chance to make a decision.
Yeah.
So like that was the whole thing too, and it goes along the same thing with like why you get punished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a weird.
I thought of a point when we were talking about this. I just lost it.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
No, but I watched a video the other day.
One man, one horse.
No, you and gay.
You can't leave those pauses.
Holy water.
No, it was a video. It's if you guys get a chance to watch, you can YouTube it. It's called Somebody Should Have Proofread the Bible.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
It's funny. It's like everything contradict. Like when one verse will be like, you must accept every man as an equal, blah blah blah. And then in another chapter, it's like, anybody that doesn't believe what you believe, you got to kill them. And there's so many contradictions in the Bible that like
there is a lot of that, and you know what? It's that's you got to have faith to believe it and look at it a certain way. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't know. No one has the answer.
No, exactly.
That's the question.
That's exactly
no, but that's the thing is you need to have faith, and it's like okay, you know. Like,
well, that was my thing. Like it's like we evolution, right? What we need to survive has stayed with us, and everything else becomes redundant, right? So why do we still have the need to worship?
Yeah.
If it hasn't really added to us staying alive.
But it kind of is a survival thing too, though, in a way. You know what I mean?
But anything communal is.
Right. But also like believing in something higher powered and like having a community based on that.
But what does that add though? Morality, maybe.
Well, you know, I think a lot of
maybe I'm spitballing here. You know, like.
Well, I think a lot of it is like we all know deep inside that we're a part of something greater, right? So
it gives you hope.
And we're not like
maybe
we're not like intelligent enough to. So we just, you know, like if you go look at like the most secluded tribes in the fucking, you know, they have a religion. They all have like they all believe in a higher power, right?
That's what I mean. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But we don't. Our brains are not developed enough, or we don't know the science enough to like equate it to, you know, an actual like an object or like an energy, or you know what I mean. Like so we just think it's a. You know,
so you think it's still a primitive way of thinking?
Yeah, we're primitive. Our brain are not like advanced, and then that's where, as we get back to earlier, the only evolution of us speeding up is through science, through technology. That's the only way. Like we're not gonna, our brains are not gonna, you know, it's gonna take 1,000,000 years for us to have, you know, like telekinetic, you know.
But my point with the dolphins is that what if by doing this we're removing the evolutionary one that we have that connects us as entities, like as energies to each other.
But that's the thing. We don't need it. We don't need it anymore.
I feel like
once we have the digital connection, but then why do we need like the spirit? You know what I mean? The spiritual one. Or
my rebuttal is that if we have Facebook, then why do we need to hang out?
Well,
because technically it's called social media. You socialize through the media, right? But you still like miss presence, right? Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like you lose everything's. But that's
the thing with
are we losing? Are we losing? Are we losing that? Are we going to lose that just by trying to gain infinite knowledge?
No, but that's the thing though. Like the social media we have now is still primitive. You know, it's delayed, right? You know, it's not like us right now sitting together talking, right? Like even though we could, like we could,
but through the same media. Like let me rebuttal again. Through the media, we could all be sitting at home and doing this.
Yeah, but it would be delayed though.
But also like interacting through the same channel. Like we could all set up a green screen and be sitting at home.
Yeah,
and it looking like we were sitting together.
Yeah.
But yet we still strive to have that connection, right? Like we need that connection. You can't be by yourself.
If we're at home doing this, let's say we're all at home doing this. We would still have the connection because the jokes would still be there.
But we would still be
laughing. Yeah, I think it would be the same.
I don't know.
Like it wouldn't be as good. It's not as good as us being beside each other, right? But it would be the next best thing, you know, being at home and being live, and there's no like delay in terms of like me typing in like, hey, what's up? You know, like you know. So
that's the thing about the evolution. To go back though, like evolution. Like saying that like being part of like a religion or being part of this
social group,
you might lose that whole thing with the uploading or the whatever this.
Well, I feel like we already are though. Like we already are losing a lot of human interaction because, as you guys were saying before, like you guys were giving me shit for always being on my phone, right? So technically, we are losing the social interaction. Yeah. We are.
Yeah, it's definitely happening.
Before, kids used to be bored. they knew how to be bored.
Yeah.
The reason why you can wait 2 hours or 4 hours doing something is because at one point in your life, you were bored and you had to sit there.
Yeah, nowadays you have to learn how to have patience.
Yeah, or just to go away.
Or just do something on your imagination, right? Like
but kids nowadays have electronics all the time, so they are losing that social ability to just be fucking bored.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like it's up to us as parents to regulate that. You know what I mean? Like with my kids, they're allowed. They can go on the electronic stuff, but there's a time limit that they can be on it. Number one. Number two, it can't affect them emotionally. You know, like my kids, for example, my kids will play a video game and then I can hear my daughter getting frustrated getting like, what the hell? Why is this guy doing? You know, it's like, cause they play online, they'll play online games.
Sure.
And I can hear them getting frustrated and stuff. And then I'm just like, you know, you can just turn that off, right? You don't need to be on that. You know, if you're not on there having a good time, you need to get off that because, you know, it affects their attitude. It affects their emotions because that's a very dialed in thing, you know, like.
No, it is. It's designed to put you in that mood, right? It's designed to put you there. It's designed to lure you in. Yeah. VLTs are the same thing. You think those chairs are the way they are for a reason?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. They're supposed to be comfy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those lights, when you fucking go off, it triggers everything, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Same thing with video games, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'll tell my kids, when my kids are not on electronics, they get along much better than when they're on electronics because they'll play together, they'll, like, make believe, they'll play with their toys, they'll use their imagination. You know, with video games nowadays, everything is already set up for you. Like they'll join a game, like for example, they'll go in a game where it's like, what game were they playing? They're playing retail simulator where they'd run a store, you know, like a grocery store or whatever, and that's already preset for you of like what you need to do. You have to sell shit and then blah blah blah, right? It's different than when they're not on there. Now they have to use their minds. They use their dolls. Okay, what are these dolls going to do? What is the scenario with, you know, then they're using their minds more, right? You know?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagination is a crucial thing, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, like Albert Einstein said.
Red Ronin 204 says, liar.
Holy. Like, I
don't believe anything you're saying anymore.
Albert Einstein, he goes, imagination is a sign of intelligence, right? Like if your kid can...
Yeah.
You know, get lost in a thing, that's like a sign of intelligence.
You know what Stephen Hawking said?
Sign of intelligence. Yeah, no, it's the other thing too. The question is, like, if it's going that way, like, you can't stop it, so you have to just join it, right? Like, well, all the kids are going to be on there. Not every parent's going to regulate their kids, like you're saying. Not every parent's going to do that. Like, parents get tired. Parents.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so I'm saying earlier is that we can't let technology take us over. We have to take over. We have to. That's a tool that we use.
But we're losing that. We've already kind of almost lost control.
No, because people are.
I think so too.
It's because people let them.
Yeah.
Let themselves.
One of the things,
right,
though, is that we're not the generation that figures this out.
No, but we're the generation that leads the next generation. Like, my kids are the generation that have
how they're gonna live life with this much information.
With unlimited information,
technology, and all that stuff. Like how. We're already fucking lost, right?
Oh,
like, we're lost in that maze, and maybe even their generation won't figure it out.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's a slippery slope because it's like if we decide to let this just steamroll through, we're pretty much the technology runs us then, right?
Yeah,
like it's you absolutely need it to survive.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of where we're at the
pretty
moment.
Close
right
now, like,
because you can put your phone away for a while, but every once in a while, you hear that ping, you're like, oh.
Not even phone, like just work stuff. Like everything's web based.
Yeah, everything's
computer based. If the internet goes down at like work, like we just look at each other. We're like,
well, there's nothing you can do.
What now? What? Like we can't take a payment like for a car because it's all web based.
Can't submit a deal.
Can't submit deals.
Hey, how car sales going for you?
Strong. But yeah, no, it's getting to be a really.
Yeah, we put too much of our like essential needs into that thing, right?
Yeah, there's no backup.
There is no backup.
Like that's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It steamrolls everything. It's pretty much.
It's it's all it's
like if I have a like if or when we have a kid, like when it's 18, 19, like unless I take them to go fishing, hunting, learn how to do all this stuff, that stuff will be obsolete. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, unless you install those things. But I'm not saying myself I can do that, but there's a lot of families that won't do that.
Oh yeah, of course.
They'll just be like, play on this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they use their kids. They use technology as a babysitter. Yeah, you know.
And
absolutely, man.
I'm not worried about people like us because I know you guys are like that. But I mean, like, there's a lot of families out there that don't.
When when we drive out to the lake, sometimes Matthias will be like, "I'm bored," or he'll be watching a movie, and I'll purposely take it away from him. And he'd be like, "I'm bored." I'm like, "Good, look out the window. Be fucking bored.
Talk.
You have to be bored."
Oh, man. I say that to my kids all the time. It's like, hey, it's okay to be bored.
You have to be bored.
Or I'll even say, like, you know what? You're 9 years old. You're not allowed to be bored. You can do whatever, you know. You can do whatever you want, you know, like.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And when Matthias was little, he used to have like dress up. So he used to like dress as he had like a panda onesie. He would dress up as like a pirate. He would, as like little things like that.
Yeah.
And dude, it made me so happy every time I'd see him pick up a costume and be like, today, and he'd literally like spend the whole day as a pirate, as a ninja, as as that kind of stuff. And
that's a super cool thing.
That's one of the things you want to nurture, right? Like nurture him into that, because keep that imagination as long as you can, because the real world will fucking take it from you, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you can have that, and there's some people honestly that I'm envious of because they've never lost that.
Yes.
Like you make fun of a lot of people for doing a lot of things. You see a guy dressed up in something that's not like regular clothes, and you're like, fucking asshole, right? He's like, fucking, who does this guy think he is? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, that dude still has a little piece of that imagination left, while you surrendered yours a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one thing I always talk about too, is that like I'm always envious of people that get famous, or they do something they're actually passionate about for their for their living, like for their life, for like making money or whatever. Like they're a musician, and that's what they've always done. They didn't make any money for ever, and then all of a sudden they start making money, and they're doing it because that's their passion. So every day they're going to do what they love to do. Yeah. Like I don't love, not to go back to cars, but I don't love cars. Like it's a job, right? Yeah.
No,
like,
of course.
Doing something like art, like for you, is probably it's still fun,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I feel very fortunate. I'm like very, but at the same time, my personality is I can't do anything else. I'm like I can't work for anybody, and it's just like I've done every job under the sun, And I don't know. I always feel like it was meant to be. Like I just, because I'm just not that personality. Yeah.
Life pointed you in that direction.
Yeah. I've always if I didn't like a job, I would quit on the fucking spot. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Yeah, I've left it took me
right
in the middle of
fucking 3 years to quit mine.
Yeah,
and at the end I got fired.
Yeah. No, I've never been that. I've always been the person when you go to work, it's like I got to do everything to just make the boss happy, work as hard as I can. Even if I don't like it, I'm just going to work and just try to make him happy. But that's the thing is I'm not a very artist type, or what do you want to say?
Artistic or creative.
Autistic, yeah.
Creative, yeah.
Creative type, yeah. That's the thing. I don't have that. So, you know what I mean? It just doesn't. I wish I could be passionate about something.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. With you guys, I have my niche, right? But you guys also have your niche, and sometimes, for me, for example, with what I do, with how I make a living, I can't, as much as I enjoy it, I love it and stuff, and it's a passion of mine.
Is that blowing dudes or?
Oh my god! And so
Les saw me getting ready and he backed up from the microphone.
But I mean, it's still not up to my standards of where I want to be at. I don't have to be a billionaire and stuff, but I'd like to get to the point in my life where we could go on vacations. We could buy whatever we want, and I'm not like extravagant guy. I don't need much.
Okay, Mr. Fucking, what's that fucking sushi place? Wasabi, man. This guy fucking can't eat superstore sushi, man.
No, I agree with
don't
that.
Touch don't touch me with that peasant shit.
But getting to my point here is, you have even though you're not passionate about what you do, that's giving you the funding to now at this point you can think of something that you can put in money into where you enjoy and you're passionate about. Same with you. You guys have talents. I wish I was mechanically inclined, not gay like you. Yeah, I wish I was mechanically inclined. I wish I understand.
Yeah, I guess there's
those are things I would like, or even I have a basic maybe an average understanding of technology, but I'd love to have be a fucking tech guy that knew, these guys are making millions of dollars on Bitcoin or
whatever,
or even just programming an app, right? And making fucking and I could do that, but you have to have the passion for that. You have to want to learn how to program. You can look at the guy that made Instagram, right? He made it in his 1-bedroom apartment so he could share photos with his family, and then he ended up selling Instagram for $3 billion, or even the YouTube guys, right? Or Facebook, those guys are all college, that's what I mean. I wish I had that kind of passion to stick to that and
It's a good point. Making money gives you opportunities to do more things that you are passionate about, but also making money also brings a lot of other things
along with it,
right? So you can't really. It doesn't give you as much freedom as everyone thinks, right? There's a lot more other stress that comes along with stuff like that.
But it gives you
mortgage payments, car payments.
But it gives you options, though.
It gives you options.
But at the end of the day, one of the things that you accomplish by getting more money, and to put it simply, is you just get enough to buy back more of your own time.
That's what I always preach too. Making money is to buy time.
Buy time.
So it allows you the goal in life. The only thing you can't really buy is time. So paying someone to shovel your drive, we talk about this all the time, paying someone to do this, paying someone to wash your car, paying someone to take care of your house. Instead of spending your time that you could be spending with family or friends or doing the things that you really like to do, now you can basically save some of that time up, right?
That's what I mean. Isn't that what retirement saving is? Is just you buying back your time when you're a little bit older. It's all you basically saving up to buy your own time back.
Well, so it's that's a good a point, because I always had people judging us, specifically my family, because we eat out a lot.
Yeah.
Right. If it's late or whatever, we go out to eat, and we eat out quite a bit. Probably 2-3 times a week.
A day.
We'll go out to eat. And then but the thing is, you have to calculate what is your time worth.
That's right.
Right. If we go out to eat, that's time that the wife doesn't have to cook, or I don't have to cook.
Yeah.
And then then the cleanup and that, and if you really do the math, if you were to let's say we go out for we go to I don't know, just any like let's say we go out for Red Lobster, right? What is the cost of me going to Superstore or going to a grocery store and buying the ingredients, coming home, cooking all of that and eating all of that compared to just going out and eating, and then the time save, you know, like
I agree.
that's
with
the
that.
time.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I agree with that
you know,
100%.
like you're trading like when we're sitting,
convenience for
or
no, for me. Sorry guys, I keep adjusting my mic. It keeps fucking falling down. Don't you just hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Can't. Anyways,
we'll leave it at that. With the time.
Sorry,
on time, buddy.
Running fucking.
You're wasting my time.
See, no, I am the opposite. But I use cooking as kind of like a stress reliever. Right, I kind of lose myself in there. So I cook pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as I get home from work, I try to cook a meal.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thing though. But for me, that's goes back to another conversation we had. It's something I'm passionate about, so I like doing it.
But that's different, right? We're not talking about things we're talking about things we're talking about that exactly. But in what I think he's saying is that you can buy, not just going out to eat, anything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but no, that's what I mean. Like I like I'm the same with you. It's like I like cooking too, right? But there's
cats and dogs.
But
or?
there's
yeah.
oh my god. But there's times where it's busy, like you know. Like my kid, like for example, my kids have swim class. Yeah. They're off at 7:30. Yeah. You know, and it's easier for us to go I pick them up. We go eat right after.
Yeah.
It's
and
convenient,
go home, right? You know,
you can if you can afford it, it's the convenience. The thing is,
well, you don't even have to spend like, you know, half the time we'll go to like, you know, the local Korean restaurant that's super cheap, and it's like, you know,
yeah, it's still $20-$30 whatever, everyone can have some food kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you know, it's like we don't have to always have like expensive food, right? Like we'll go for pho, right? Pho, it's like $30 and everybody, you know,
full.
And everybody's full, right?
I guess you work hard to have convenience and to save time.
Well, for me, is
a little chunk of your time. Yeah,
the quality time that you can spend with your family. You know, like when we're at a restaurant, we're sitting, we're talking, we're chatting, we're, you know, whereas if we're at home, everybody's in a different zone, you know, and then especially like the wife, she's tired, she worked all day, and then she's gonna come home, cook, you know, there's other things that she needs, like laundry or whatever, you know, because I don't do any of that shit.
I was just gonna say, well, you know, could,
my wife does all of it, you know.
You could like throw a craft dinner on or something, bro, like something. Man. But yeah, no, I understand. That's a good, valid argument. I talk with another buddy of mine about this all the time. Is my wife always wants to like not pay people to cut grass. We talked about this before as well, and I don't look at it as like that is impossible to do. I look at like
that's time out of your you know. It's like
30 minutes every week times the rest of your life. If you do the math, that's going to be like 10, 15 days of your life that you're spending cutting grass.
Well, that's the thing. Like
I don't want to be on my deathbed and then going like, man, I could have an extra 15 days. I got 15 days because I cut grass.
What's the thing? You got to like evaluate what is like, you know, what is your time worth? You know, right? You know, like we were talking about earlier. My front yard is full of dog shit. Like it's a disaster. So I can disaster. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's like 70% dog shit in my front yard. I could go out. It would probably take me like 3 hours to clean all that, or I could pay somebody, you know, $50, $60 to come and clean it for me, and I don't even have to think about it. You know, and it's like
and it'll be done.
Yeah, it'll be done.
Yeah. I don't know that like convenience is a great thing in life right now. Yeah, it's pretty.
I will pay. Yeah, I will pay for the time. Like,
speaking of time, we're around 2 hours. You guys want to do? What do you want to do? 5-10 more minutes or what?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Whatever. Yeah,
we call it. We are
15 minutes.
We're one viewer on YouTube.
We got 2 on Twitch.
Two on Twitch.
Yeah, 15 minutes, and then we'll.
Sure.
Sure.
But yeah, no. It's the convenience thing is a good thing. Like the way it is going with all these apps and different things to make it more convenient. Like it's kind of scary, but it's also like so awesome. Like there's
for me, in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of technology.
Yeah.
You know, I wish
does it never scare you though? It never scares you?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll have a good grasp. So like I said earlier, so long as it's used as a tool, and it's not used, you know.
Well, that's the thing is you have no control over that.
Oh, sure you do. Like, sure you do. I believe you do. You know, like
I don't think we do.
Like, I don't get lost in, you know, like if I could go like.
as we're sitting here doing a live stream.
Yeah, no, on the internet.
Yeah, but I could go a whole day without internet.
You just checked your phone 3 times since we've been here and you gave me shit.
No, I did not. No, I did not. No, anyone not. We have video proof of that.
And it's anyone could, but it's just like it's inevitable that it's going to be there no matter what, and like it's only going to get more powerful that you need it more.
But I mean, what's the difference of that and like back in the day when there was no internet and it was just TV?
That's
right?
yeah,
but like we watched a lot of
probably
TV.
The conversation probably came up with the TV too.
Well,
but that's why like series exist though, because we get lost in that too.
Oh yeah.
And Netflix knows this shit, right? Like all these things have already predetermined that we're gonna get invested in these shows, and then we're fucked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
they eat up your time. They eat up your time.
How many times have you fucking gone to the end of a series and then felt physically sad? Because you're like, oh man, it's done.
Yeah, pretty much every series. Like there was one I watched that I was like, I got really into, and then at the end, like I found out that they got like basically turned off. Like they didn't make another like season.
Yeah,
like it didn't pass the specs that they wanted for viewers or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
it's queer eye for
what the yeah, no.
Are you guys watching TV together now?
Yeah. Well, I was at his house.
There you go.
I'm not rude. I don't tell him to change it. Yeah. He leaves it on. But yeah, no, it's just you get emotionally connected, especially to characters and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Well, because you're so invested in the
like 10 hours into the shit.
Like
10, 15 hours. Like
that's my rule with comedy. Like if you ever watch like stand-up comedy on Netflix, I give them 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes to gain the rest of my time. Dude, if it's not funny,
it's for off.
Oh man, it's
done. Time's for
Netflix comedy is fucking dog shit.
It is bad.
Man.
There's a couple
I
good
watch
ones,
so
man.
many
There's
of
a couple
them,
good ones.
And me and the wife will be like 3 jokes in, like, oh fuck,
shut it.
And they have like a new one every like couple days, right?
Yeah.
It's just shit. It's like they're
generic.
Filtered. Yeah, it's filtered to
well, you can't say
you don't want to offend anybody, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, it's
that's why I like some of the guys like Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Right. He's fucking hilarious, man. But I like he's funny, but in like a witty sense too. Like he just everything he says is kind of jokingly. So
I'll have to watch it. I've never watched him before.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's pretty funny.
Good,
man.
Yeah. There's a few on there that are pretty good, but yeah, I don't Netflix in general. I just kind of for the Canadian one, anyways. It's kind of like. Whatever. It's hard to find good stuff.
I don't understand why they fucking
sell it like that.
Yeah, like why do the Americans have way better Netflix than we do?
It's actually not
because
Netflix,
we have
it's because
we
have the CRTC.
Like what do you mean? What is that about?
The CRTC,
the Canadian
radio and television, something like that.
Yeah.
So why is it set? Like,
because
was it censored?
Yeah, it's censored because anything that's broadcast in Canada needs to have a certain Canadian content.
Yeah.
So all the shows that are coming out of the Netflix in America, like they can't go into ours.
Yeah, there's things that the CRTC blocks that we can't have here.
Yeah,
it's not
bullshit.
Netflix, but it is like there's a governing body that.
Yeah, there's a censorship. Fucking who the fuck?
So they have like one video in China, like one video. Netflix one video.
Netflix one video.
Just censored.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Do they even have Netflix in China?
No,
I don't
think they even have Netflix.
I don't
in
think
China.
so.
Not even one video.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Can't have it. You just can't own it. Yeah, no, I don't know. That is crazy, but like the American one is way better.
It has way more
content.
Yeah.
Way more content.
And then there's like certain I think companies in the States that have like television like distribution that also have a Canadian like a partnership with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I guess they don't translate and they have to like open up something else. There's certain things that block that shit.
Yeah.
And it's not Netflix, it's just fucking politics more than anything else.
Yeah, it is weird how you like we're right beside them but we can't get the same videos and shit as them. Like
it's
like I don't know. Like that's weird, but yeah. But the Netflix thing, I don't even watch it. I go on there once a month and look at it, see if anything new came on that's good. I go through it. I spend more time searching through the thing, like,
that's the thing.
Nothing.
Like, you have you're like nowadays. It's like you don't want to waste your time. I spend more time like
watching
checking
trailers.
IMDb, checking reviews, than actually watching the show, right? Because you're like, fuck, I don't want to waste my time. And then it being shitty, right?
Yeah, there's so many times too where you start like a movie on Netflix, whatever, and then like 50 minutes in, like you're saying, You're like, fuck this one. And go to the next one.
Yeah,
right?
go to
It's just it's too convenient. It's so convenient to just change right away, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you have to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah, like before.
Before
you're committed as well.
Yeah, you go there and you just pick whatever is available, because everything, all the new releases are fucking rented out, right? So you pick whatever there, and then you have to watch it.
You have no choice.
Yeah, you have no choice.
100% commitment. You know, it's just like you're in for $4.50.
Fuck, and then late fees if you don't.
Yeah.
If you're too lazy to bring them back.
That in Columbia House that I get a lot of videos from them.
Columbia House, holy shit!
Remember that?
We used to order the fucking CDs.
Yeah, for a penny.
For a penny, yeah. And the only stipulation is you had to buy 10 at regular cost.
Yeah, I
remember that. Yeah,
I never did though. I just signed up like random people's name to my address.
Yeah,
like they just like mail box. My mom's like, "How are you getting all these CDs?" I'm like, "I signed up for Columbia as a penny."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I got like 40 CDs in like 3 months.
It's fucking funny, man.
See where it's at now? Fucking,
they're shut down.
I remember back in the day, it's like, why don't you put on some music and pull out the fucking the album of like DVDs, of the discs. Yeah. We would go through
fucking the envelopes.
Yeah, man. Holy fuck.
You get your car broken into. Man, they took my CDs.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. No,
or fucking. Well, like LimeWire or fucking
downloading.
Remember when you had to like give your computer aids to get fucking the song you wanted?
Yeah.
Right.
Literally take fucking.
Yeah, man.
You slow down your computer by fucking 75% every time you download it.
And then there's a good chance that's a fucking virus.
It was a virus. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking LimeWire, fucking what was the other one?
Napster.
Napster was the
first one.
Napster, yeah. And there was another one too, fucking
Napster, LimeWire. I don't remember.
And LimeWire and oh shit, there was one.
Torrent or torrents.
Those the torrents was after this.
Yeah. Torrents. You just buy DVDs off people, right?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right.
Crazy time. Now it's like it's so silly that we did stuff like that. Yeah. Because everything's so.
Well, that's the thing. That's like, technology is evolving now. It's just like at home, at my house. Before I have had everything. I've had fucking satellite, which you had to fucking
program the
fucking cards. Yeah. And then I had fucking Apple TV. I had the fucking Android. But you know what works the best? 100%. You just buy a tower, and you just connect it to your TV.
Buy a what?
A tower, like a computer tower. Right?
What do you mean?
Like a computer tower?
And you connect to your TV.
Yeah, you just
and to play video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then now you have the internet on your TV.
Yeah.
And you just stream movies. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking.
Yeah.
Upgrade anything and stuff like that, right? It's just a pain in the ass. Like even the Apple TV was great, but then every fucking 2 months you gotta you get a fucking
reload
it and shit like that. It's like fuck that, That's why you get a cheap like a $200 tower, put it into your TV, and you just stream it through the web browser, right?
Yeah.
And you get everything you want. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good idea.
Netflix, any show on Netflix, whatever, And then there was like before there was like channels. Like web pages where you pick the movie and fucking 20 pop-ups will come up and you have to like figure out which one to close.
And it was like always like Russian roulette.
Yeah,
the wrong one is 20 more.
Yeah, and they would trick you like they had a little X here, but then now they have ones where you click the movie and it's the movie. You don't have to fucking close a bunch of tabs. Yeah.
I haven't used those in a long time because of that reason. Like when they popped up, and then you have that little X and you'd be like, oh, which one? Clicked it up.
Wrong one.
Just like give you 20 more pop-ups. Yeah, times are changing. It's good, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting better. It's
getting better. Well, any topics, or if you guys are watching, thanks for watching, and if you could like, subscribe, share it, whatever you guys want. If you don't like us, give us a dislike. If you like us, like us. Thanks for joining in.
You guys want to
sign off or any questions?
Yeah, I think it's time
man.
Sign off, and we appreciate everybody who stuck around for this whole fucking podcast.
Yeah,
man. Good. Thanks, guys.
I saw people coming in and coming out, and
it was good.
If like I said, the guys that watch us on the replay, like and subscribe to the channel, please, and hit that bell on the top so it reminds you and notifies you when we go live again.
Yeah. Right. But other than that, every Sunday we go live.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Jesus loves you.
Love you all. Thanks, guys.
Jesus loves a little chill.